Hello, friends and bees, and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Indie Pride. You know, it's the game that I'm playing. I'm playing the video games. It's Pride Month, and I'm playing the video games. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm awful at all things, but that's okay. This week we are going to be playing a game called Heaven Will Be Mine, which I am really excited for because it is made by the same people who made We Know the Devil, which is a game that I loved. And it's a game about being gay and also piloting giant robots, which is just great. So that's the thing. Throughout the month of June and possibly onwards, I am going to be. I hate the Stream Deck sometimes. It's a nightmare. Sorry, my Stream Deck is not behaving as I tell it to. You error message me, whatever. Throughout June and possibly onwards, I am going to be raising money for the Bale project via Tiltify. The link was just appeared in Twitch chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it is down in the description. So if you have a spare couple of pounds and want to donate, it would be appreciated. Dollars are also accepted, but mostly we're about pounds because that's what I pay for things in. Also, I cannot click out this game without things going, without the sound stopping, so we're in that now. And you know what? Rather than me chatting shit, let's just get started, shall we? Select pilot. What's advanced? Faction, Celestial Mechanics, Self-ship, String of Pearls. Celestial Mechanics wants to reserve test pilot. Celestial Mechanics wants to observe humanity to its next stage, and Saturn wants to flirt, but there's no reason we can't do both. Combat style, button mashing. Bedroom style, button mashing. Lunaterra is Memorial Foundation, Self-ship, Maria Crisium. Memorial Foundation ace pilot. Fighting for the pilots to join the rest of humanity back on Earth before it's too late. Good at sniping, espionage, double-crossing, ghosting. Bad at loving herself, everything else. Pluto. Faction Cradle's Graces, Self-ship, Krunkula. Cradle's Graces ultimate weapon pilot. Even if Earth has given up a new life, humanity in space, Cradle's Graces hasn't, and Pluto will make that dream come true. Like succulents, good girls, crushing, both kinds, everyone. Dislikes, is trying very hard not to have any. I kind of... Both Saturn and Lunaterra are so relatable. This is me, bad at loving themselves, everything else. Now I'm gonna go with Saturn. I too want to go into space and flirt, so... Welcome. Provisional test pilot. Let me know if the sound is too loud or quiet, by the way. Provisional test pilot Saturn. Your clearance level is level 1, testing and maintenance. Warning, potential damage to cockpit hardware detected. Warning, modifying or tampering with cockpit hardware and or firmware is strictly prohibited. Saturn, what are you doing? Notice, bypass override accepted. Launch temp blocked, no handshake with base. Oh hey Mercury. Not much. A base handshake spoof detected. Just hacking the OS root of the ship self. You? Base handshake. Lots of noises. Base handshake accepted. Trying to stop some brat from hijacking the prototype, apparently. Emergency launch override initiated. Prepare for launch in T-minus 120 seconds. Calm down, Mercury, I'm just borrowing it. I am not debating, I'm trying to save your life. The commander will be furious, and he won't just accept you stealing the Cornerstone project from the designated pilot. It's not a big deal, I'll have it back before you know it. This is privileged information, but the designated pilot is to launch right this second to get that machine back to Earth before they get here. This is the worst possible time. Couldn't be worse if you planned it. Everyone in the system suddenly somehow knows base's location and they're heading here now. User launch override blocked. Denied by base. Oh wow, weird. How did that happen? Denied by base. Denied by base. You planned it, didn't you? You forgot an apostrophe. Oh, God, Saturn is the most relatable person. The typing style, the reactions, the desire just to flirt. Also, so I was looking at the achievements for this game because of who I am as a person, and there are 3 different characters you can play as and 3 different endings, which means I'm going to be playing this through multiple times to get all of them. I'm already critically in love. Remote shutdown in 30 seconds. No one can prove anything, especially not the designated pilot unconscious and locker 27. Whoops, looks like they're trying to kick me out, huh? Saturn, I know you're mad, but you can't do this when they catch. Can't do this. When they catch you, it's going to be so bad. Can you please just act like you're pranking them? There's still time. I will beg them. Oh, such a worrywart. You've got hours to evacuate to the capital ship. They never engage you this far from base, and I'll be distracting them. I have it all figured out. Except for how you're going to do anything at all to accomplish that with everyone trying to kill you. Remote shutdown in 20 seconds. Saturn, try to have a little faith. Remote shutdown in 15 seconds. Saturn, calm down, Jesus. It doesn't take a genius to drive one of these things to the moon. Who cares which one of us does it? Or do you think I can't? Remote shutdown in 10 seconds. That is not the issue. The commander cares, and you know better than anyone what he's like. Yeah, but we'll just have to get used to it, lol. Saturn, what are you trying to prove? So much, Mercury. But give me a little credit. 5, 4, 3. I have much higher ambitions than just being a bitch. Error. IFF sequence missing. Base override cancelled. I almost got worried for a sec, lol. Welcome, assigned pilot. Full permissions granted. Saturn, I'm gonna die and it'll be your fault. Oh, come on. I'll get this to the moon safe and sound, and let the Severance project be complete. I'll be very good, maybe, and do everything I'm supposed to, maybe. I know I'm the second choice, but they'd rather have that than nothing, right? Very generous of me, isn't it? They will not accept that. They will sort of have to, though, won't they? If the command didn't want me to steal one, they shouldn't have benched me indefinitely. Emergency launch initiated. Let me know when he starts admitting it. Hostile launch. Catapult locks on. High risk of damage to your ship self. Jeez, now they're just being needy. Mercury, isn't it just the worst when someone who doesn't care anymore starts clinging just because he found someone new? Prepping weapon systems. Electrotoxin level surging. Weapons operational. So gross. Emergency launch initiated. Everything about Saturn as a person is everything I love. Can't believe I really did it. I really, really did it. Everyone who said if I was good I'd get my chance again sure was a liar. I got away and I've got a ship and she's all mine. You're beautiful. I want to know everything about you. I miss this so much. Much better than the test machines when I was in the academy. She is beautiful. She's a wicked machine with a lot of secrets, just as giddy as a pilot to be free. She's extremely responsive, eager to do everything Saturn wants. You're even worth reading the manual for. What's in you? You're not hiding for anything from me, are you? But Saturn already knows everything in the manual and more. It's a very cagey document that doesn't do the ship justice and is certainly hiding something. There's plenty of information on how to use your electromagnetic poisons and how to cheat distance and gravity, and all of that is fun. But none of that tells her the first thing about how to be a ship. This is useless. How can this help diagnose anything when they don't know the first thing about being a ship? So wrong. Way too dry. That's not what it's like at all. It's a body that's also a soul. It means exactly what it is. That's why it's small, curved in wicked edges and some dead places, but curved in soft ways elsewhere. Sharp claws and deadly tail, but cute enough to hug. So perfectly suited for Saturn, one has to understand exactly why they wouldn't give it to her. Really perfect. Fits better than a human body. It's reason enough to disobey everyone and run off with it, isn't it? Oh, speaking of. More threatening emails from Iapetus. Missing me already? Gave him a perfectly good deal. For someone who always goes on about mutually beneficial arrangements, he's having real trouble seeing the big picture. And the time it takes him to realise that, I'm sure I could find something fun to do in this system. Time to test you out and see if that's really true. Can you give me everything I want, down to the last drop? It's January 1st, 1980, and the long and cold war where humanity united against its nemesis and an existential threat from beyond the stars has been over for a long time. Since the 50s, we've been fighting a war against an existential threat that we cannot understand, cannot perceive, and is powerless against the technology of Earth. It was a pretty stupid sort of war to fight, isn't it, when there's enough of a mess down here to worry about? Humanity is already the disputed authority of reality, and we have the physics to prove it. It's time to return to Earth, our home, the seat of the universe. Before Earth takes us back in pieces, let's go home with grace. On the first anniversary of the decommissioning of the International Space Program, we, Memorial Foundation Nightosphere Existential Safety, in agreement with the home planet's unanimous decision, declare there is no future for humanity in space. Let's come home. The Return Resolution, Memorial Foundation Nightosphere Existential Safety. I can't read words. It's January 1st, 1981. It's 1 year since we declared independence from Memorial Foundation and the rest of Earth. The Cold War is officially over, and it feels so light without the gravity weighing us down. How can a tiny handful of colonies, terraformers and schools hold out against the full authority of Earth? Because that shit doesn't fly past escape velocity. To power the ship cells we've made to fight the Cold War, we made tidal resonators to bring the gravity necessary for humans and culture to survive in space. And if that gravity is ours now, enough to make a new world, free from the weight of Earth, if the Memorial Foundation wants to kill the future, they'll have to come and take it from us. We're thankful for our cradle's graces, but we're not coming back. Independence Declaration, Cradle's Graces. It's January 25th, 1981. Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces have been having fun for a little over a year. Nothing is breaking the stalemate. Earth is getting impatient. They have a good reason to believe that the existential threat posed by the divided humanity in space is much greater than any theoretically malevolent entity outside the native sphere. While the kids are fighting, Earth is getting ready to list the humans remaining in space as part of the existential threat, and when they do, they'll send real weapons and end this war fought with plastic toys. The justification? We're technically less than 100% human, just not human enough to be something else. It's hard to believe they're really onto us. It's time to make a drastic move. Bring our final piece, the prototype ship cell string of pearls we made in the atmosphere of planet Cronus, which will never be Saturn, to the lunar gravity well, where the Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces are already headed. Whoever controls that place controls human access to space. We can be sure everything will be in place there. Earth or space, we are just sort of 100% human. Let's see how much less than 100% we can get. Internal report, Celestial Mechanics. Day 1. Right. Subject, your apparent promotion. Origin, Celestial Mechanics Division Lead. Author, Yaptus. Good job, Saturn. There's no point in being angry with you, so I'll choose to be proud of you instead. I'm refraining from having you sung, since that's counterproductive to our intentions for that unit. You are a reserve candidate after all, so you do fine. Try not to make it too much of a pain in the ass for me. I'll have Mercury reassigned to you since he apparently doesn't have a say in the matter. How nostalgic. Two of you had so much potential. Well, he knows how to do his job at least. Do your best not to get the string of pearls sunk. We'll absolutely wash you of the biological interface and reassign you permanently if we get the chance. So prove you're competent enough, and neither of us will have wasted our time. Subject, true ending, effective immediately. Origin, native in mass communication. Author, Memorial Foundation Existential Safety. To all members of the former Memorial Foundation Natosphere Existential Research Division, now known as Celestial Mechanics, this message serves as a formal acknowledgement that this branch has violated a trust and broken the provisions of the 1981 Memorial Foundation Consensus by violating Clause 3, the development of a variable gravity engine, and Clause 7, installation of a variable gravity engine into the ship self-string of pearls. Celestial Mechanics will no longer be listed as part of the Memorial Foundation. They'll be formally listed as an independent entity considered a true existential threat by Memorial Foundation Natosphere Existential Safety. We're still offering forgiveness, so please effect as soon as possible while the appeal grace period is still in effect. Please otherwise expect tidal retaliation for existential endangerment of human culture. Halamidi, Princess. MFNS Mufnesed. There's too many words in that for me to say it. So I guess we are breakaways from the, you know, we're breakaways who are just like, you know what, let's fuck shit up. Don't talk to me. I brought you in space on purpose. Consummate bridge bunny, not responsible for Saturn. Saturn is insufferable horror creature. Forward all complaints to Mercury. You literally messaged me first, you nerd. Oh my god. Harpy. Come on, baby, I'm sorry. What can I do to make it up to you? Give back the ship. Come on, I'm obviously not doing that. Please, I'm begging you. Listen to reason. You have so much left to live for. Oh, Mercury, come on. We both know that's not true. What do you want from me? A list of girls who will shoot me out of orbit. God. Anyway, don't be a crybaby, I'm fine. Saturn, you're extremely wrong if you think there's a chance I'm at all worried about you. If you come back, all be forgiven, but you need to bring it back. Mercury, it's fun playing, but I don't think you've been listening at all. Mercury, it's not that ship anymore, it's me. Mercury, you wouldn't ask me to give it my own self, would you? I'm sailing on a ship of myself now, and I'm not giving it up until gravity drives me back kicking and screaming. I can't deal with you. Ah, TY, BB. Kiss, kiss. You're a nightmare, and I'm giving up trying to save you from yourself. I love you. I hate you so much. You can't stay mad at me. I can't, and it's horrible. My revenge will come because literally anyone else in the universe can. Oh, darn. Guess I'll have fun while it lasts. Saturn, if you defect, I cannot protect you. Yaptus is furious, and he's going to come personally back for you if you don't come back. I told you I do all the missions. What, don't you believe me? Obviously not. Lawfare. Okay, let me ask this. Do you ever think I'd give up on the Aversion project? Go on. Yaptus wanted us to fight for a new self beyond a ship self, but not even get a taste until the end? Fuck that. My house now. Tell me which of the two of us you trust less, Mercury. Day 1. Boot up, Saturn. Welcome. Okay. Okay, so this is just like a summary of all the conversations we've had. Okay. Do I want to go for Joyride Killjoy or Saturn Return? Let's do Saturn Return first. What do you mean I can feel her presence? Please do not try to sound that cool. I can feel her presence. Everyone can feel her presence. I can feel it right now. How could you possibly even ignore something like that? Shut up. I mean, I can feel it physically. Oh, wait, what, like how? Like I feel like I'm gonna throw up. It's like I'm spinning upside down and can't stop. You sure you haven't somehow concussed yourself? Or given yourself gravity sickness from all the damage you managed to inflict on yourself in the past 12 hours? Yes, and it's on top of all that, and also shut up. String of Pearls is feeding me sensory information on the direct line. I'm a human being with 5 senses, and she's trying to cram a dozen more into me. By direct line, you are in fact talking about the incredibly creepy physical interface connection between you and the String of Pearls, correct? Really, really is, right? It's truly incredible how we agree about everything and still feel the opposite about it. Is this why you keep hesitating before giving me intel? Yes, because you're going to do the opposite of what you should do with it, but also I can't not tell you, because you might die, so running support for you is an incredibly anxiety-inducing affair. It must be hard. Thank you for acknowledging it. So you're going to tell me what's after me? You already figured it out, haven't you? But yes, it's like Cradle's Grace's masterwork. Celestial mechanics traded the knowledge for how to finish String of Pearls in exchange for what they needed to finish the Kryn Macula. It'd be pretty funny if they got us this way in the end. It's headed directly to the lab. We've already evacuated on the capital ship, but you are its highest priority. Should I play bait? If anything, it's more important for you to get back to the native sphere first. In order for us to make contact, we need String of Pearls. We believe if you hide the abandoned Daphnis lab, you can use the decaying gravity furnace for cover. Ah, that's sensible. But bait sounds like a lot more fun, you know? Really? Oh, come on. Yaptus must think their pilot's a real idiot, just gonna waste your time on a wild goose chase like that. He wouldn't just sacrifice you like that. He would. There must be backups for making contact. Just because I'm the easiest option doesn't mean I'm the only one. He's testing to see if I'm worth investing in, or just gonna get myself killed. Why run? Why not have it out with her? I bet she's thinking the same thing, too. Be careful, Saturn. If you can tell what they're thinking, they can tell what you're thinking. Please, if I really could do something like that, they wouldn't have kicked me out of the pilots. Then how do you know the pilot's a she? Because boys can't pilot. Daphnis, the tiny shepherd moon, so small it barely earns the name, tumbles through the Keller Gap, ruffling the rings of the planet it orbits. It has its last official lab at the Earth's decommissioned space program, training grounds of failures like Saturn and special girls like Pluto. Saturn remembers it feeling cramped, anxious and scary. No wait, Pluto remembers it that way. Saturn remembers when it used to feel so special to be chosen, a candidate for the last generation of pilots. But didn't Pluto feel that way too? Sometimes two things are true. In this place, gravity is quietly degenerating, and distances becoming ambiguous, between past and present, between me and you. I've got chills, and not just because it's cold, but because of how much I love the writing and the artwork and the music and everything about this game already in 20 minutes. The Daphnis slab seems smaller to Saturn now, though not as tiny as it feels to Pluto, and that's obvious. No longer people-sized, she tears through it like worms in an apple. There's a much bigger worm here, and she doesn't know anymore if that was a good idea. What was a good idea? Saturn doesn't have any ideas. She's just trying to hide, even though there's nowhere place where you cannot be felt by me. Alert. Tidal resonance. IFF confirms enemy. Warning. Gravitational hazard. Danger. Pressure exceeding safe range. I know, it's extremely exciting. Stop making me so nervous. Supermassive. Small enough to hide in this complex, but with dual reactors denser than the entire moon compressed into the head of a pin. An hour ago, and Saturn felt the gravitational pull of something so big and so close and so powerful that the interior of her cockpit creaked with the pressure, and her head, heart and eyes welled up with tears. Something that couldn't be anyone other than Pluto. Cool, she must be pretty big, huh? So why is she so hard to find? Saturn has no idea. Why do I have the feeling someone's laughing at me? No one is laughing at Saturn. The lab's been abandoned for years. But Pluto, wherever she is, giggles. Not in a mean way. She really does think it's cute. I haven't thought about Pluto in a long time. Man, it really would be funny if she was in that monster. Well, now someone is laughing at Saturn. Hey, now I know someone's here. I can feel you listening, but I can hear you too. And I can catch you. You're not the only one who can fuck with a narrative. Mechanics. Oh, ooh. I don't really understand what the choices are, but we'll go with staying loyal for now, I guess. Ah, I got an achievement for made a choice for the first time, right? It's easiest not to get caught if you don't care about catching anything. It's just about knowing there is no difference and focusing deeper. And focusing deeper. The real celestial mechanics, the interaction of bodies in space via the forces of gravity, the weight of mass and culture, explained by the story behind them. That's just science. With your own gravity, reach out and pull. Good girl. You know just what to do. Do you like what you caught? The Corin Macula towers over Saturn. Pluto's ship is so big it barely fits in the lab complex, but it's only a speck compared to how big it feels. Massive enough to warp local space-time, humming and vibrating with nebula dust, and absolutely, effortlessly gentle. Without Pluto's most delicate touch, the Corin Macula would have destroyed Saturn and the whole complex without even trying. How much do you trust it? I knew you'd be right behind me or something. If you did, how come you're not facing this way? I'm an idiot, I guess? You've come a long way just to be an idiot. You must know exactly what the ship can do, right? Did you come to fight me on purpose? That's really brave. And really cute. If you touch me, I can touch you. So I'm not getting close. Came all this way not even to fight? Oh, that's not cute at all. But it's smart. Hey, don't underestimate me. I'm scary. You think? Maybe I believe you. Cute things can also be scary. But I'm curious now. I was worried you were going to waste your chance smugging your new machine, but you're pretty clever. You want to talk without fighting? If you're good. Otherwise, I'll bite. The energy I'm feeling. I feel top energy in this house tonight. So, what did you want to talk about? As crazy as Grace's glittering psychic death machine, you definitely have more important things to do than go out of your way to bully me for no reason, right? Oh, that's right. That man and the fleet are escaping, aren't they? Hope you don't mind falling for this trap. Trap? You? Silly. I know you're more important than that. More than catching the rest of the Celestial Mechanics fleet? I knew this would be fun, and you knew it too. I'm absolutely delighted you're doing that, just to be clear, so you don't have to read my mind to roast me about it. Can't read minds. You know that's not how it works. But I also don't need to know that. But I did want to know how the biggest overachiever of my juniors turned into such a bad girl. If you really remembered me, you'd remember I was never good. I do remember you. Even if you're not that good at being bad, do you know what you're doing? With that machine that's so dangerous we don't even want to find out what it does? Think you answered your own question about why I'm keeping it. You can stop me then? But you don't want to? Hey, stop. Don't pry into me. If you're pitying me, I'll make you regret it. Not all of us come up perfect like you. Some of us get thrown out before they see any use at all. I won't pity you. I really would have torn this machine apart, but now that I'm here, gifted little mutant to gifted little mutant, I can't bear to, because some of us just haven't been thrown out yet. Lab-grown girls like us should stick together. Might still make you regret it. Winning isn't my most important task. It's not yours either. You sure about that? You're not who I'm worried about. It's only your boss I can't forgive. Oh, I love hearing that. Tell me more. I'm getting a crush already. Regretting it now? Don't worry. There's nothing you can make me regret. The energy. I feel love deep in my soul. Pilot candidate 007 Mercury interviews. Memorial Foundation Celestial Mechanics extracted. All third generation through pilot intake. Don't worry, it's just a checkup. Historically untrustworthy scenario. It's just questions, I promise. It's not really a great way to set my mind at ease. Let's just answer the questions, okay, wise guy? Fine. Have you experienced a sense of vertigo or loss of balance for a period lasting more than 2 minutes in the last month? No. Have your eating habits changed at all recently? No. No. Mercury, work with me, please. Why? You work with me. If I absolutely promise to neither I nor anyone else to do anything at all to stop you from being exactly who you want or from whatever changes you need, will you at least answer my questions? Sometimes. Maybe. Okay, that's good enough for me. We're just curious if it's a side effect of life in space, or the educational program of Dr. Nix, or in reference to the behaviour of Iapetus. No, that's backwards. Everyone else seems to get to do whatever they want without limits in space. Why is it weird when I do it? We want to test for the effects of space alone, so self-induced changes have to be controlled for. Don't ask what's in my endocrine system. It's my endocrine system. Fine, it's testosterone, and I put it there because I wanted to. Is that enough? Well, I guess that's what I needed to know. If you promise not to ask me about it again, I'll give you all the data I catalogued about the changes. Okay, I get it. You're starting to get it. Stop treating me like a girl, and I know you've really got it. Oh, Mercury. I'm in love with you too. Recommended tactics. Origin, extracted from their AID-OS. Author, ship self-string and pearls documentation. The string of pearls is configured for rhythmic... The string of pearls is configured for specific outward expressions of gravity, tidal forces. The dissonant rhythm of this reactor makes peaceful tidal communication risky and difficult. Be cautious despite the range and penetration this unit is capable of. The electromagnetic conductors have liquefied the electrical energy into corrupting material, a form of theoretical matter that should be used as a primary engagement tool. As a seducer-saboteur model, the unit's functions are inherently insidious. Rather than armour, the plastics are infinitely malleable and regenerate. It is safe to take damage head-on as an opportunity to infect rather than avoid, but the unit can be contained, restrained, and impeded physically and tidally. I'm confused, but also in love. Mercury, listen in, it's emergency. I'm sorry about everything, but it's important. You have to tell Commander that I'm getting so laid. I'm logging off. Bye. I was not fooled for even a second that this would be useful. Really? Not even for a second? I no longer experience hope as a concept. You freed me from it. Oh, stop, I'm blushing. What do you want from me, Saturn? I'm going to have to change my voices, so I did not know Mercury's gender. So I'm moving Mercury to being the deeper voice, and then Pluto will be the higher voice. Nobody cares but me, but that's okay, because I care deeply in my soul. What do you want from me, Saturn? Do you need discrete places to make out in on Aries? Goodbye, Saturn. Also, here's the test output today. Saturn, goodbye. Aren't you going to read me the data analysis? If it is indeed data you're sending this time and not just nudes. That's rude. I always ask before I send them to you. I don't mind acting as official art director of Saturn's News since you need it so badly, and it's substantially less tedious than data analysis. But if you're as punctual about sending data to the cockpit, But if you were as punctual about sending data as cockpit selfies, I'd have a lot more data to report. Why are you so incredulous all the time? You stole the prototype, might I remind you? Can't just continue the field testing as if nothing happened. Why not? Because why would you do anything you didn't want to? What are you planning? Fine. They've been dying for it anyway. Cool, how'd I do? This is not bad. It's pretty useful. He typed through tears. Don't rub it in. Can't believe your ship self-expanded so much already. What have you been doing with it? I think I've been hinting very clearly how. I instantly regret this question. You're supposed to test the prototype in combat. Same difference. I can't believe we invented a ship designed to get into trouble and didn't think, oh, Saturn is the obvious choice for this. We both know why. You were an even more obvious choice than me. Fuck Iapetus throwing us both out like trash. Come on, aren't you a little happy to see a little havoc in his perfect garden? I'll be looking forward to you collecting new data. Attaboy. The channel close noise happened just as my neighbour upstairs did a particularly loud thump, and it made me jump. Okay, let's go meet Lunaterra, Memorial Foundation's ace. So I'm just trying to get this straight in my head. So we basically, there was an existential threat out in space, so Earth created these ship selves for, change the name of this, change the name of this here stream. Sorry about that. So they created ship cells, which are basically giant mecha for people to go fight in. Only it turned out it was kind of a shitty fight, so that they were like, hey, let's all get back to Earth. And there's one group of people, the Memorial Foundation, who are like, yes, we want to go back to Earth. And then there's another group of people, the Cradle's Graces, who are like, we want to stay in space. And then there's the third group, us, the celestial mechanics, who were like, hey, let's fuck up, cause as much fuck ups as physically possible. I don't know if this is true, and I want to see if there are any descriptions, because I'm confused. I'm sorry that it's suddenly gone silent, but okay, well, this guide is useless. Let's do Joyride Killjoy. Turn audio down just a little bit. Please tell me how long you're going to be engaged in this. May I stress again, incredibly dangerous, giant waste of time. Until they start sending someone interesting after me, Mercury. The whole fleet would be after you if you hadn't damaged the entire launch hangar when you stole that. Could they even take me out while I'm flying this thing? No, but it won't stop him from trying. And let me stress, this info packet is a gift purely to prevent your ship self from falling into enemy hands, and not an indication of any sense of forgiveness. Let me worry about Iapetus, Mercury. He's going to be a lot less grumpy when I clear the way for us and celestial mechanics to return to the native sphere. I've got it all figured out. You absolutely don't, but okay. Did you read the info packet? Ace Memorial Foundation pilot Lunaterra in hot pursuit with escorts. Planned an attack on the lab, arrived after you escaped. Do not engage under any circumstances. Boring. This part was good. I don't expect you to control your impulses, but even given that you're just like that, she's the last person you'll be trying to fight on purpose. Sounds like I should definitely try and fight her on purpose, right? I hate you. Come on, Carrier is never going to make it out of the system if I don't. You don't know how to pilot your ship, and she's a veteran since the Cold War. You're going to get yourself captured and humiliated and the ship trashed. So you're saying there's no downside? Why are you doing this to me? She's 6'1", huh? Your attention to detail is so useful sometimes. You're using me to cruise? Taste is so awful. I hate you. Oops, look like one of our escorts is in range. Sorry, gotta go. Surprise is all I've got, you know? I wish Europa would stop sending me boys who can't control themselves. Having fun dismantling my escorts? With a string of Pearl's fingers, Saturn carefully peels the mechanical musculature out of the poor ship's arm she's holding, a souvenir of the last Lunaterra's escorts that she sent crying too easily back to their base. It's still sparking and oozing, and Saturn wishes her ship had a mouth so she could suck it out like crab meat. That's a phrase and a half, huh? Maybe it does have a mouth. The machine has many mysteries that the manual doesn't explain, and Saturn is still learning them. Though I suppose Europa's learned a lesson about sending me girls who can't control themselves. Oh, really? Hey, that's really interesting. Mind telling me more? Oh, she's a hacker too? How amusing. There's nothing too interesting on this comm frequency. Oh, you flatter me. But hey, what did that mean exactly? The part about the girls who can't control themselves. I really want to hear more. It means back up the talk first. Or can you land a hit off the comms? Lunaterra's gravitational field focuses to a single point. Lunaterra isn't budging. She's been through much worse, and so is the ship, followed always by a thin trail from a bleeding wound she can never completely repair. The Mare Eclysium is over 2 decades old, but Saturn can't even land a hit. It's regal and stiff, dressed in cold metallics, weathered and refurbished. The archetypal prototype for all of the ship's elves. Still going after all these years. Still furiously untouchable. The string of pearls hasn't gone down no matter how much she's been rammed with that spear, but she hasn't even nicked Lunaterra's ship once. Not bad at all for a joyride, but you can't get one hit in? Good thing you don't win by looking cool. No mercy for newbies? No. Lunaterra puts a stake of solid light through the string of Pearl's leg, pins it to its own gauze wrapper. Doesn't hurt at all. The ship's metals begin moulding and reforming around the wound immediately. A ridiculous, unfair advantage. Saturn has no right to complain, but she still wants to. But she's trying to be cool. Everyone wants to, when in the quiet gleam of that always bleeding ship. It's a pretty amazing ship. Think it'll last? Either you're fighting just for fun, because you're that reckless, or you're caught in your own containment wrapper and can't escape orbit yet, and you beat me for sure if I played around. I'm not done yet. It's not true. It's actually very difficult to move with a solid light bullet in your leg, but she's not going to let that stop her. Saturn is suddenly closer than she logically could be, claws bubbling, but Lunaterra effortlessly slips away and kicks Saturn's ship directly in the chest. Yeah, you're done. Containment wrapper is still stuck to you, so your movement's off. It doesn't seem to have stopped you that much. Right? It was so rude of them to try and stop me. It seems cruel to take it away when you're having so much fun with it. Same as you, right? Do I know you? Everyone knows Memorial Foundation's perfect ace. But do I know you? So I do, don't I? Let me out of this thing and I'll tell you. Why should I? Because you can't help yourself. Besides, don't you want a real fight? Can you promise it'll go different? I can promise it'll be more fun. You're asking me for me to totally abandon my duty to bring you back and do that instead? What? You won't? Lentral pilot who defected from Memorial Foundation, then double-crossed the rebels she abandoned them for, can't be opposed to a little fooling around with the enemy. I guess you do know me. Want to trust each other? Or is it more fun if we don't? I want to make fun of, let's do, it's more fun if they don't and Lunaterra gets owned. Celestial Mechanics advances. Opening features past closing point. I'm impressed. Most people would be nervous to have a knife this near their throat. It's not like you can hurt it, so there's nothing to be nervous about, is there? That's true. But you're so new to this. I thought your brain would be overriding with the information from the ship. Maybe I'm not new to this. Oh, you were a candidate, so I think that might be true. But you're also trembling, so I think it's not completely true. I'm still very dangerous, you know, Lunaterra. I believe that for sure. Wouldn't be trembling if you were in my shoes? Less so. People tremble for a lot of reasons, though. I don't have anything to fear, so please don't project that onto me. Well, if you're fearless, then what is it? Could be anticipation, couldn't it? This is very foolish of me. It really is. I have you right where I want you, remember? Might mean that I have you too. Your claws are twitching. Thought we promised not to trust each other? I still don't. You must really like living dangerously if you're still helping me. I'm having fun. I can tell. If you want to know so bad, that's why I didn't like you. 'Cause you're a test pilot and never got to fly before the end of the Cold War, while idiots like me got to? Ah, I thought so. That's enough. Hold still. Everyone let you have as much fun as you wanted. You were a real huge jerk. I was always jealous of that. Everyone who let me get away with it regrets it now. There, done. Thanks. For all your hard work, I should leave you something to remember me by. Oh, ready to fight for real? Sorta already did. And Saturn has left a claw scratch of hot pink poison seeping on Myra Chrysium's thigh. How's that? I finally did get a hit on you. Good job. They break away, rocketing. Just a little off-bite. Pay me back for it next time. Trust me, I will. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there will never be a planet Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bit of Aries. But like the stringy, inedible bees that grow when nothing else does, Cradle's Graces is dug in and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist, it's an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship cells can't keep you alive alone forever, and even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSCS probably already did. That's why there's barely any of us left, and why we can't get them out. What, why don't I go home too? And leave all these idiots to just fucking die on a rock? Who do you think we're doing this for? External communication sent on August 31st, 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops. Hey, Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. They don't have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on Earth is in fact not human. It's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and then they'll send a real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here, for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well, and then we get to decide. Internal communication sent out on January 25th, 1981 by Cradle's Graces regulars. It's morning on Aries, but what's time and space? If we can get a capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out the canyons and Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering, hold the city ruins against invading troops, and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline is up, Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. We'll finally have something alien in space. Private communication sent on January 26, 1981 by Celestial Mechanics researcher. So I guess they're all looking to get to control of the moon's gravity well, and the Memorial Foundation want to shut it off so people go home. I'm confused about the three factions. That's what it is. Day 3. Root corruption. Error. Mission parameters not detected. Mission results. Needed gravitational slingshot permissions. Error. Navigation shortlist not found. Manual inject / mission results .text. Mission parameters found. All results perfect and amazing. Wow, thank you, Saturn. Flight path generating. Fleet path Cronus, orbit refuel on planet Ares. Lagrange colony pass classified operation Earth's main. New standing orders coming in. Ares, guard celestial mechanics fleet refueling on Ares oxygen ocean. Ares, stay out of trouble and do not engage Memorial Foundation troops patrolling in immediate vicinity. Accept orders? No. Error, cannot proceed. Manual inject. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Ares. I'm going to Google a thing real quick. Go for it, Wikipedia. Okay. So we've got 3 factions. The Earth faction and the Memorial Foundation brands the space program a failure and demands that colonies of humans in space and on Mars leave their colonies and return to Earth. Martian colonies, known as Cradle's Graces, declare independence instead, refusing to return to Earth, and a stalemate begins between them. The Celestial Mechanics faction, composed of the other space colonies, recognises that the Memorial Foundation has branded all of us as space mutants, which will be used as a pretense to weaponize the discontent still thinning on Earth. The advisor and plan to take control of the lunar of all space-dwelling colonies. Cool! That makes more sense. I was very confused, but now I understand slightly more. Be careful today. I'm never careful any day, so I'm serious this time. Iapetus is in the field today. I don't know where he's fighting, but you should be careful. Jeez, you worry too much. Obviously, because you give me so much to worry about. I mean, are you really worried? His ship self is actually not that scary. Not as scary as mine. As if that was the thing I was worried about. What then? Ew, oh god. I'm not even thinking about letting our mutual ex touch me. I won't even fight him. I'll cover him the second his tide so much as tremble against my plating. Why would you worry? I don't even slightly hate him less than you do. There is no possible way that you hate him more than I do, but that's not the issue. That's never the issue with him. Hating him hasn't made him any easier to deal with. We were kids, though. We're older and wiser now. Lamau. Haha. At least you are, Mercury. Hardly. Or I wouldn't be telling you. You remember how he just casually lingered his fingers a second too long on your shoulder? In front of everyone? Oh, it was so gross. It was so gross. And I loved the attention every time. Made me slug. I loved it. It was gross. I hate him. Do you love yourself enough not to fall for it again? I definitely hate him not enough not to fall for it again. Do you? No, obviously. I'm still in celestial mechanics, so how do you think I feel? You're soaring. You've got a stupid idiot who loves you, and you get to do research and never have to deal with him again. And with his ship self, we'll have the future. And no matter what, I'll make sure he won't. Subject, RE. Origin, Celestial Mechanics Main Fleet, Misfired Transmission. Author, Junk Data, Error. Oh my god, sorry for getting back to you so late, but I was in the middle of a meeting. My phone buzzed so much the director asked if I need to take a call, so we do this on purpose. I don't think you really need feedbacks on your needs that quickly, even though yes, they're really important to me, and I can't stop thinking about them or getting any of my work done, and my presentation suffered greatly from my lack of focus. I expect you're prepared for a little payback, and after I sent you my schedule so this wouldn't happen again even. Hey, you wouldn't have asked me for a meeting time so you could send this to me at the worst possible moment, would you? I already know the answer to that, so why don't you tell me this? Why can I never get enough of you? You know? Fair and valid. What do we want to do? Oxygen Ocean serves as both a fuel yard and terraforming engine for planet Ares, and it's the perfect hiding place for the migrating celestial mechanics fleet. Deep down, something is reaching up for them. The Memorial Foundation deploys a certain sniper to stop escape, refuse, and resupply routes to the resting celestial mechanics. All that needs to do is stay out of trouble. But what's the chance of that? Obviously this one. 400mm kiss. No, go ahead. Take your time. We're not dying yet or anything. You know, fighting officially on Ares is a lot less fun than I was promised it would be. It's real work, Saturn. I thought that's what all of this getting back on our good side was all about. Shouldn't have done such a good job of hiding in the oxygen ocean then. You could maybe stage an attack from the Olympus ruins, but not even Cradle's Graces is pressing enough to defend them. Memorial Foundation is thorough enough to watch over it. Of course, only they would be that annoying. There's recent activity there and they want an investigation. Just being paranoid. It's a stupid plan, and they're only sending someone there to waste their time chancing we're dumb. Or baiting us. Would they really send their ace if that was the case? Wait, that All Memorial Foundation warhouse, you mean? Why don't you tell me the most important first? Coordinates now, please. Saturn, I really hope you're not, actually. Yeah, I'm feeling like, Commander's right, actually. The area needs some really thorough investigation, just to be sure. What's with the sudden enthusiasm? It's really not... No, wait, it's exactly like you. What you said you fought off the Mare Crisium pilot. What were you actually doing? I don't know what you're talking about, Mercury. We're so dutiful and brought this back in one piece, so that means I won, so don't worry about it. Why are you like this? I love these descriptions. Saturn gets no scope by Lunaterra. Also, I had a thought. I had a thought, but then I decided not to think it. Let's go for Lunaterra gets a point-blank encounter. I'm going to try and go for a loyal run for this first one, just to see what it's like. Even though I love the phrase Saturn gets no scope by Lunaterra. System mechanics advances. Opening features, closing pasts. The balance shifts because Saturn moved and Lunaterra couldn't. Got you. She does. Saturn is as good as already down. But so is Lunaterra. Got you too. Pure spite got Saturn this far, and it'll get her even further. She takes aim and fires. Lunaterra, perfectly still for the perfect shot, is perfectly unable to get out of the way in time. Saturn's string of pulses laid out flat on her back, creaking and twitching, and Lunaterra's Mare Crisium falls from a sniper spot like a burning star. Lunaterra wakes up first, but a flight unit is shot. It's hard to hide a ship that can't fly in a city, but the Mare Crisium is full of unfair tricks. Shooting her down is just the beginning. You have to catch her next. That's alright with Saturn. She's at her best when everyone is in the dirt. When she wakes up, she's ready. She might be in worse shape than Lunaterra, but worse shape is her best. I love Saturn so much. God, she's just so #iconic. The string of pearls skirts along the half-constructed city with the shape of ruins and the pristine finish of the plastic toys still in their boxes, looking for the hole Lunaterra's nestled in and dodging her shots of protest. Reboot took longer than I thought, but ready or not, here I come. Hey, come out. You almost got me the last time you poked your head out to shoot. Try again. Come on, I'm not babbling to trick you or anything. I'm just having a great time here. I'd love it if you stopped making me feel like I'm just talking to myself. Can he just find Saturn? What, this isn't exciting enough? I guess that's why you're the ace pilot, LT. I need to have you on the ropes to taunt you and dodge at the same time. An ear-splitting crash, impossible to tell which direction the shot came from. The cover around Saturn explodes. I'm an ace because I keep my priorities straight. That's not what I've heard. What have you heard? Keeping your priorities straight is a thing that you're the worst at. That is pretty much your most obvious weak point. Maybe they don't know what my priorities are. Is getting shot down by an idiot with no combat experience high on your priority list? The building next to Saturn explodes. Is missing all the time high on your priority list? You really are a brat. Is getting harassed constantly by flirtatious brats high on your priority list? You're really on your toes today. Can't hit you with anything. Yeah, I'm having fun too. What a mess. Don't know why I'm laughing about it, or having so much fun. I'm glad you think so. It's a funny kind of date if you put it that way. Is this fighting just play fight? If this fighting is just play fighting, then keep playing with me. Should be careful though, you never know what I might try next. I've got so many plans for dragging you out into the sun. Like what? Are they working on me? Of course, stop underestimating me. I'm executing several plans as we speak. You're not at all ready, Lunaterra. I'm not giving you any way out. Not going to at least give me a hint? I'm at a disadvantage here. Can't trick me into giving it all away, but maybe you're right. Maybe I should be generous and let you know just a hint. About one plan. You're generous. You should know this, but winning isn't my highest priority. Won't mean that I'm easy, though. Hey, we do think alike, at least in the first half of that. If you love winning, the stalemate of this whole conflict should bore you to tears. All that's left in space is second-choice pilots who suck at things like winning, no matter how good they are. I'm the second choice, but I'm the pilot that's here right now, and no one else would have thought the plan that I did. Oh, I'm a second choice too, or I wouldn't be here. It's that great a plan? Really? You? Oh, it's not a good plan, it's just that no one else would do it, because I have to be a freak to try and catch you on foot. A first choice would never be sent to space in the first place. That does sound like a crazy plan to me. What would you even do if you found me, assuming I'm standing still? I know it sounds like I'm showing off, but I couldn't beat you in a fair fight, so anything else is in my favour, right? Maybe it's the only way around that ghost ship of yours, and how much of a genius you are. I can track any ship that I've hit once. I also have ways of being hidden, so you could never find me. You're right. Ha, but you haven't used them. Maybe not. Also, did you know the Elmira Crosium has a manual bypass for opening the cockpit? Yes. Oh good, but I'll knock anyway. Gentle hidden pressure, and the cockpit opens. Ha! Hi. You look a little different. Not nearly so smug. And you look a lot different. I remember you now. You were such a good girl. I never would have thought that was you. Smiling, Lunatera. Did something good just happen? You must really trust me to come unarmed. Why would I need to be? I win. I'd say I'm pretty dangerous, just like this. You think of everything. Never mind, you do look infuriatingly smug for someone I just beat. Step away from the controls. Sure, I'm not laughing at you. I'm impressed. Even still, even in a fake fight you have no respect for, no one takes me this seriously. I'm the Memorial Foundation ace, but just by default, after the good ones left. So I don't mind losing to you, since you think I'm so cool. Lunatera kneels by the controls, hands up. They're still in reach. Saturn climbs the open hatch. No sudden movements, and I don't think you're cool. What do you want now? My ship? Me? They're both useless. I'll decide that. I don't need your ship out of commission. I'm going to be much cooler than you very soon, and then I'll beat you sort of fair and square, but maybe I should reprogram the ship to be absolutely sure. Lunatera whips around so fast Saturn's pinned down in the cockpit seat before she can even tell how it happened. Sorry, but touching there isn't allowed. So then where is touching allowed? You're absolutely much more dangerous without a gun. LT's hand is on Saturn's collar, and the other arm is on Saturn's wrist. Saturn slips her free hand down LT's arm. So how about here? That's fine. What about here? I won't stop you. You don't mind if I touch your face, but you won't let me touch your ship? Some places on the ship are fine. Some places are me on fine. Which do you want to know right now? Is this... damn it. So how's unbuttoning my shirts going? It's harder than it looks at that angle with just one hand, huh? Just make out with me, you heinous bitch. Lunatera had this idea, but instead she forgets it. She finds she's let her grip go slack, and Saturn's nearly leapt out of the chair to kiss her. The thought was a little surprising, but her body made the right call, in the moments in between when she was too busy overthinking it. Saturn seems a little mad about the smug face Lunatera is making, and bites Lunatera's lip as they kiss. Doesn't encourage Lunatera to stop being like that. This is absolutely insane. You kidding? What could possibly be a better use of your time? Don't tell me duty is why you're fighting out here, or you would have stopped me before I opened the hatch. You're not just here for fun. You're doing this because there's no point, and you're killing time before the war collapses one way or another. Obviously, I can be sure and still make out with you. Would it disappoint you if I wasn't? Oh, don't make that face, I can tell it would. It's good though, I feel the same way. I wouldn't have let you flirt if that's just all you were. How can you be sure? Looks like I know something you don't. Even if it's just one thing. I'm always the last to know. You always make it seem like you know what you're doing. Just acting on instinct. My body knows what to do. Then you should be asking her. She'll know just what to do. Ha! Gay. But said with deep and enduring love. Captain told me to thank you for the data stream. You're very welcome. Do you have new results for me? Yes, I'll encrypt them. T-Y, you're the best. I guess there's no point in asking what you want them for. How afraid should I be? Just trying to fulfill a mission, Mercury. You know that. I'm going to tell him you're as inscrutable and petulant as ever. Oh, please, I don't want your hubby to hate me. Why do you call Ganymede the captain anyway? Because some of us have a sense of discretion. Oh, Captain's pet's so well behaved. You'll want to talk, Saturn. You're going to end up at the pound one of these days if you go through any more superior officers. No, it's cute you both tidily lock that quick. You're making all the lesbians jealous. Then act like it, Saturn. And I will not apologise for locking it down. I've had my fill of being a pet. I don't really want to be a pet either. Maybe you are learning to love yourself. What I'd like is to be a toy. That's even worse. No, it's better. Plastic and metal can be moulded into any kind of shape. You can smooth over and change whatever you want. You only have to accept the interference you're designed for. A toy never gets to do anything. Just sits there looking pretty. Mercury, what do you think I want? Don't you love how our ship cells evoke so much? Just by being in plastic and the silhouette of human? These beam weapons are my fingertips. This chassis is my tits. But they're also beam weapons, an impenetrable chassis. They can try the plastic all they want, but they can't touch me. Plastics can't get hurt. But you still can be, so don't forget. People fawn over objects. They worship them. I want to be the product they obsess over. Thought you were tired of getting thrown away. I am not for individual retail sale. Look, don't touch. One of a kind not sold in stores. God, Saturn. You didn't have to be so relatable, and yet here we are. Subject, Annual Academy Student Rating. Origin, Colony Server Force Extraction. Author, Memorial Foundation Space Academy Archives. I won't rate them, they're still learning. Given this, Halle Media is underperforming based on the expectations you set out for her. I told you the projectors were completely false from reality, repeatedly, for this very reason. The authority she may have wielded on Earth means nothing up here. I should add, because I know you'll forget it as early as is convenient, that she's performing very highly compared to her peer group in a specific area that you seem to consider so highly. Yes, even compared to your Generation 1 aces. She has the potential to surpass them, so stop asking if she has surpassed the top one yet. Prefer to keep those two as separate as possible for interpersonal reasons. Halle Media is too competitive and easily impressed not to make me worry about placing her in close contact with the number one ace. Your attempt to put those two in the same room is not going to notice by me. Do you just love drama, Iapetus, or is there something else you believe is more important than the health of our pilots? Subject, Nick's final resignation. Origin, Memorial Foundation Evidence Locker. Author, Special Counsel for the prosecution of Dr. Nix. In these moments, nothing is more painful than being patronised, but you couldn't even spare me that. I can't understand why you thought me to be that naive, though. I really did know. They thought a world where the children were together and free and could write their own future sounded wonderful. We didn't even get close for them to understand that that's not what they wanted. I knew it from the start. I regret only that I didn't get further before they got noticed. You're asking for my resignation, but there's nowhere else for me to go, and there's nowhere else for those children to go either. I won't let you have them, and I won't let you crush them back to their earthly shapes. What you're asking instead is for me to declare war. So I will do so, and we will see if Earth's sides are truly powerful enough to crush the humanity you rejected. Whoa, 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 whoa. I guess he sort of created, I shouldn't say he, I guess they created the space pilots. The oxygenation serves as both fuel and terraforming engine for planet Ares, and it's a perfect hiding place for the migrating celestial mechanics fleet. But deep down, something is reaching up for them. Saturn, what are you doing? Disabling all comms and diving sports and... Oh, you're still here? Thought I cut this tunnel too. Well, I should go ahead and shut it. Don't you dare cut me off. You can listen if you promise not to whine or stop me. I'll do no such thing, and you cannot make a deal with me. I'm simply stating a fact, not making an argument. Just why, Saturn? Why such an incorrigible, petulant nightmare? After you're probationally forgiven for doing a very good job not getting Stringer Pearls ruined or captured, and Command even decided to give you the job of sparking the gravity engine that will take our fleet back to the native sphere, I think you wouldn't be so into pressing your luck recklessly. But everyone except for you is so annoying. They're annoying because whatever is causing the tidal interference in the bottom of the oxygen ocean is almost certainly that Cradle's Grace's weapon, and they have no reason to believe you're going to be loyal. Every single second of the day you are horrid and undisciplined, and your brief periods of obedience only seem to exist to throw everyone off later. I mean, if you want me to cover for you, you have to play along a little. Why are you like this? Years of encouragement and grooming, followed by abandonment and neglect. You know that. God, Saturn. Gods. Oh, lordy loo, they really fucked me up by making a character like you, huh? Same as you. And same for that pilot you're after too. Is that why? In a different way, but I think so. Enemy or not, I want to talk. I think I'm getting somewhere. And I'm not going to talk if you all are interfering. What if she doesn't want to just talk? Then you'll really appreciate me cutting the cables before she pulls all of you down there with me. Why is it so important anyway? You really jeopardise the whole operation for that? What, you don't think I have my own cunning master plan? It's way better than his. Supposedly nothing can stop the Kryn macula. Is it better to find out if that's true sooner than later? Fight or a talk, which is it? How are they any different? Anyway, don't worry when the connection accidentally breaks. I'll be fine, promise. And you will too. Sarah's secret moment deep down. Opening features, closing pasts. The balance shifts because Pluto tugs and Saturn yields. The oxygen ocean is a peaceful place because everything about it destroys everything else. You can enjoy complete privacy under the curtain of the oxygen steam, drink all the fuel and air you want, and no vessel can survive the temperature and pressure competitions below. You can float as long as you want or until your hull turns brittle and breaks, and your organic compounds oxidize. You can float as long as you want, or until your hull turns brittle and breaks, or your organic components oxidize and explode. Celestial mechanics has covered their wayward pilot's machine in temporary armor layers to seal out the unknown interference of gravity and seeping oxygen. The additional temporary armor layers might not be necessary, but they might also be. The Celestial Mechanics fleet Sorry, I briefly forgot how to read. I should really stop playing games that rely primarily on, like, me reading out loud, because it's bad for my health as a person. The Celestial mechanics fleet tenders, lower the string of pearls and slowly, just to be absolutely sure. It feels wonderfully cold, like a spare blanket taken from the attic in winter. Pluto is there, deep, deep down, and when Saturn slips in, she feels the ripples as if they were on opposite ends of the same perfectly still pool. The feeling is wonderful. Saturn's surprised that's true. How do you know that? Wait, who is you? How do I know what? Saturn? Who are you talking to? We're asking for confirmation to lower you. Yeah, I've been ready. Sorry, I got distracted. You must be if you're apologising. There's someone down there. She's speaking to me. No, she's trying to eat me alive. Maybe. It's really hard to tell the difference. Awesome. It's familiar. I'm so stoked. Take me down. The ocean boils wherever she touches it, even with the external equipment. There's no way to rely on sight, and the paramagnetic influence is too erratic for senses to process. She can only feel her way, for both of them. The cable to your left is extremely important. It's the only way we have of communicating and monitoring your situation. Aha. So you'll need to be extremely careful with it. Are you listening? Yes, but not to you. Shh. Definitely someone here. Lower me. It's reaching out. Saturn feels funny. Something's not quite right. Like something's watching her. Oh, this music is so good. Holy fuckamole, as it were. I feel like I had the exact same visceral reaction of pure love and adornment when I played We Know the Devil. That's exactly how I feel in this moment playing this game. This sensation like it's the best thing. It's like someone's watching me. But it's also not like someone's watching me. It's like something's watching her, but something isn't watching her. It's touching me. Something is touching Saturn. Its hands see her and they also speak. It's saying something. The ocean ripples with boredom. It's really boring down here. But what else is Pluto gonna do? Some girls get stuck with the worst jobs. But I've got to do it. With nothing to do but send insinuations through the narration. So are you coming or what? Got her again. Tidal spike detected. Mass gravity alert. Lower me further. Saturn, we're pulling you out. Oh no, not just yet. Hi Saturn. Hi Mercury. Sorry, I'm borrowing her for a little bit. Saturn's cockpit floods with alarm lights of an imminent high-intensity gravity event, but it's too late. String of pearls discharges its electromagnetic field and delicately breaks off the winch. Saturn, what are you... String of pearls cleanly slices off the left communication wire and the pulley system. The silence of the oxygen ocean reminds her of a sensory deprivation tank. What a good girl. Hey, don't praise me like that. Oh, Saturn. The gods, and also Worst Girls games, cursed me personally when they wrote Saturn as a character who exists. I wanted to speak to you again. Damn it, I cut both wires. Even ship-to-ship comms are down. Saturn, can you hear me? Would you hear me if I spoke with the ship? It's been such a long time since anyone could hear it. Pluto's tunnel reactor pulses slowly. The throb feels like it's coming from everywhere. Oh, I get it. You want to talk with gravity? Well, I'm not some miracle child, even though they tried very hard to make me as good as you. Saturn's reactor, an anxious little ball, is getting just so fed up with this. It's frustrating not to be understood. Would you know what that's like? You don't know how much I know, but I believe in you. If Saturn moves too much, she might forget what direction up is. Sensory deprivation of the ocean takes everything away, but she has to remember that's not true. I don't believe you, but I'm trying. Oh, she's trying. Of course I'm trying. Come on, where am I? I hate people playing hard to get. I believe in you, but you gotta work for it. I can't do it. Sorry, but I'm cheating. String of pearls electrotoxin shoots through the ocean. Like a bolt of lightning, it reaches out because it's attracted to you. It seeks a path of least resistance, looking for something that wants to respond. What it really does is run along the boundaries, theoretical and real. There's a place where the boundary between one thing and another is weakest, and it runs along the boundary until it finds it, and then it connects the two. Why is she doing that? Oh, it's what you're used to. Good at seeing weak spots. I've got a lot. Can you find them? You can do it if you try. Maybe you need a little push. It's like there's nothing. Not a single crack. Don't say you're not perfect. Don't make me do all the work. The pressure is overwhelming, but it's overwhelming for Pluto too. The chrome macula is like a little star, gushing matter and condensing it into an engine of light over and over. It was modelled after a theory of the Big Bang, after all, made in secret on the planet Hades on the boundary between what is human and what is not. It's a fragile boundary. You can touch it, but be careful. This takes me back, which is not fucking fair. You doing that on purpose? Always taking me back to unpleasant pasts? Is it taking you back? Sorry. But we can't help it. It's the first thing beneath our surfaces. It's hard for me too. Take Sam back to her first implant series, when they took the most special children they could find and tried to cheat them into being even more special. Bypass all the work and care that had gone into the third generation pilots and kick them directly into humanity's next stage. Cheating, you should know, felt good. Felt wrong in a good way. Felt good in a way that felt obscene. Felt bad, like she was getting more than she deserved. They chose her, but she felt like she played a trick on them. Like she lied and got candy for it. They knew there was nothing special about her, and they gave her the most special thing. If they knew how special it was and how much she didn't earn it, they would have given it to someone else. But they didn't. Even when they threw her away, she never forgot how that felt. Why is it always like this? Oh, baby. Takes Pluto back to when she was learning how to be a person. In space, they decided they would start over without assumptions. Humanity would be protected by the most human children they could make. No matter how badly she did, no matter how much she wasn't up to how perfect they wanted, they never gave up on her. That was the worst part. She wished so much they would give up. It was so hard. She just wanted to be the mess she really was, and they wouldn't let her. She knew with her whole heart what she was supposed to be. She had it memorized, and she could never make it leave her body, become the thing she did and the person she was. They let her be whatever she wanted, and she wasn't strong and smart and pretty enough to be it. Both of them remember, reaching through the wall to be the one on the other side, wishing so hard to hold hands it felt like you really are. Your two pebbles dropped in the pond, but your ripples touching are enough. No one knows, even the two of you almost don't. Never say it out loud. Never think it too loud. Sounds so sad when you put it like that. Why? Don't show me things that stop making me jealous. Oh, you got me. You're touching me. I can hear you through the contact link. Ha, you got me that good, and that's what you have to say? You're the one who got me. You did it. You found me. You're clever. It's amazing. You don't need to flatter me. I won't feel better. I'm not. You better. I promise. Why am I so scared and you're so not? That's just me. Sorry I'm like this. But you can flatter me a little. You're a little needy, huh? Didn't you just say I just had you? Ha, you do. You can do whatever you want now. Why'd you do this? You came after me, so it's only fair I came after you. Don't say it's only fair. Say I'm amazing and important and you came after me specifically. Totally not needy, huh? Give me a better answer. I want to know why it's me. I don't have one. There are so few of us left. I've got to cling to everyone. But I love that you're scared and you believe anyway. Think you're one of the only people who can make something change. And there's no time left. Is that a proposal? To join your side? Yeah. What if I refuse? Then give a good reason for me to join you. You're even more impulsive than me. You can start to see why I fight, can't you? The way I am starting to see why you do. Show me something important and I'll be yours too. But you're definitely not going to go quietly, are you? Nope. If I let you go, will you promise not to crush yourself and me and literally everything? This time, you mean? Yeah. I think I can do that. Say hi to Mercury for me. I'll see you again soon, baby. September 12th, 1963. That's when the first and last artificial colony of the native sphere was completed, in a tranquil ball of stable gravity at Lagrange point 5. As the front line against existential threats, a training facility for the generation of humans adapted to fight in space. As the colony environment with the life, gravity, and culture necessary for human beings to live, thrive, die, and be born. With the hope that peace on Earth would reign if we won this war in heaven. Without pressure, water balls of photons and we dissolve into component parts. Without culture, we forget the shapes we're supposed to have and turn inside out into something else. After necessity, we created a pressurized environment, exerting enough gravitational pressure to maintain cohesion, all senses, in space, as ships sail to ferry us through the world. They function only in places where the gravity of humans is too light to sustain existence. It was doomed from the start. Of course they were jealous of the humans the Earth no longer wanted, flying on zero-G wings. Dr. Nix, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation Existential Expansion. I want that so much deep in my soul to be one of them, you know? July 29th, 1958. That's when the Memorial Foundation IEC was granted international authority in the spirit of unified human peace and the verified presence of an existential threat outside of the solar system to establish a cultural, military, and scientific response to existential threats. No longer confined to Earth, a growing native sphere where our gravity reigns forever, safety, research, expansion, the three pillars of Memorial Foundation's space branch will protect Earth from without as it has from within. Free from the old world's gravity, it would be possible to advance science, art, and culture without constraint and join hands, all of Earth finally unified. For Memorial Foundation, protecting humans from other humans through peace on Earth and protecting humans from everything else through war in heaven would fulfill both of our agendas simultaneously. We really, foolishly, decided we could do better. There are two errors to this approach. The first is that to do better in heaven is meaningless if it cannot be exported to Earth. The supposed program was never rejected by the surface, simply did not have enough relevance to sustain interest. Second error is the intrinsic error of the moral foundation. The existential threat is intrinsic to humanity. You can fight it, but you cannot cut it out. The designation of alien is required by humans. We cannot trick an existential threat into a convenient manifestation. As it has always been, only humans can fulfill the criteria to be alien. Making me hurt, but like in a good way, you know? Europa, Chief Officer, Memorial Foundation Existential Safety. January 2nd, 1980. That's when they blew up the Lagrange colony. It's a real shame. It was a green, wet and very peaceful place, and now it's a very cold, green, wet and very unsettling place. It's where we did a lot of legitimately incredible things, like create sustainable tidal reactors, new culture, experiment with human bodies and human development, manufacture self-sufficient alter egos for space exploration, and did everything other than successfully combat the unknowable existential threat. Earth and the Memorial Foundation surface considers that a failure, but in truth they're not trying hard enough. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. Humans cannot make whatever they imagine come true. Through imagining, humans chart out what is true. They invent, with human effort, what exists. If an existential threat doesn't exist, we just have to make one. But of course it doesn't work like that. Nothing can be more difficult than creating something alien. Our only reference points are humans, so the idea of something alien is unimaginable, because we cannot imagine outside of those terms. There's a certain degree of misunderstanding needed for humans to successfully classify something as alien. But before they blew it up, we got very close. Iapetus, Executive Director, Memorial Foundation Existential Research. Through imagining... I'm reading this out loud, and then I'm having to read it a second time silently with my brain to actually try and understand. Day 5. Root call reformatting 67% complete. Awaiting flight path. Input. Manual inject / extract / CM flight path. Forcibly extracting coordinates. Coordinates received. Flight path passes through former pilot training school, Lagrange colony. Receiving new mission assignments. Error, block from ship self side. Manual inject / scan virus. Manual inject / extract. 3 viruses detected and deleted. You have new mission assignments. Colony, reclaim tidal reactor from colony core before Memorial Foundation. Colony, prevent theft of entire colony by Cradle's graces. Accept orders. The Mao. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to the Lagrange colony. Thinking about how much I love the design of this game. It's very good. This is a good game, that's what I'm saying. I will clunk my glass down with some noise directly next to the mic like an idiot, and I will say that this is a good game. This is a certified, enjoyable game to play, as established by me, a person who enjoys playing games. Don't make it sound like I hate following command any less than you. Don't worry, I would never doubt that. Hey Mercury, why are you still with Celestial Mechanics? Why you, if you still are, that is. You're the one who can choose. Mercury, oh don't. If you hadn't hijacked String of Pearls, you'd be here like me, waiting, to see if it's true that we can be what comes after being human. I don't want that for you. I certainly don't trust or believe in SATURN Mechanics or Iapetus, but wasn't that the worst part? Even after he decided we weren't good enough to be the chosen pilots, neither of us left. He knew we wouldn't leave because we already wanted it too much. Do you still want that more than anything else? I don't know. I know what I don't want, and it's to have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for what? Coming to space, going to the academy, never having a chance to fight in the Cold War, not having a say either way, falling stupidly for the worst man alive. I'm counting on you, Saturn, to give me something better than just the same Earth we left. You never have to worry about that. I have only the highest ambitions for us. These girls you're flirting with better have a decent future for us, is all that I'm saying. Sure, fine, okay. Only if it's a really good one. If nothing else, I'll make sure that he doesn't get the future he wanted. Ha! Any future but the future he wants is good. Give me and Ganymede a good place, there, wherever and whenever it is. Subject, Nick's resignation 2. Moral Foundation Archives, MF Celestial Mechanics Research led Iapetus. Nix, you fundamentally misunderstood the purpose of pursuing the dreamer space. I never sought to correct you. After all, of all the great things you've accomplished are the result of that misunderstanding. You believed that your dreams, universally loved, was loved because we wanted to come true. This was not the case, of course, even though I think the Memorial Foundation truly believed they wanted the same as you. But as the tides of the earth turned, they realised in their own hearts that they are not the forefront of humanity's change, but slaves to its whims. To protect human culture means to always be at its beck and call, no matter what it becomes. And the dream is one of overwhelming power that will unlock the last mysteries and cement our authority forever. What your children achieve with freedom from gravity, we will have the power to determine on our own. I hope you can understand the depths of my gratitude for you to exploring these ideas, that they might one day belong to us. Subject: Academy Student Research Records, Mercury. Origin: Database Leak. Author: Pilot Operations Manager, Europa. Of all the Generation 3 pilots, Mercury is far and away the one best suited to actually be a pilot. To the degree I'd be terrified of giving that position to any other one of Yapetus's nightmare brats, so there's absolutely no chance he'll be assigned a course. He really is trying to maximise. What I want to impress, however, is that Mercury is still someone Yapetus chose personally for the pilot role when he served himself during the Cold War. Alongside the current second-tier candidate, SATURN, Mercury used to be a lot different, which is obvious. A lot of our pilots used to be a lot different, for reasons only space can explain. I think reducing it to Mercury's personal stake is as incomplete a reading as it would be for any other pilots in setting mechanics. Some of them don't even know exactly what they're doing, Mercury most of all. I don't think he has petulant grudges against humanity. He's just very critical. He seems like a good boy, he really does. So, perhaps under its way in weight. Let's go for Pluto next. The whole colony? The whole colony? So refreshing to see you surprised for one, Saturn. I'm soaking it in. Haha, Mercury, seriously. He wants me to stop Cradle's Graces from taking the entire colony out of the Lagrange point? Why would they do that? Why would we care enough to stop them from trying? Colony should just rot. It's over. There's nothing left there. Cradle's Graces wants those memories to live again. We need to discard Earth completely and start something new. It's Nika pulling us back home. The success of opening the gravity well on the moon will depend completely on how much is holding us down. Even weak gravity like that. It's more than just stopping her then. You want me to destroy the colony? That's the mission, yes. Not that I'm the greatest, but isn't that basically impossible for me? It's huge. There are smaller moons. Do your best, then. The less memories, the better. Thought you didn't have any problems, that their colony should just rot? Ha, it's a funny joke. We both went through the same shit, don't ask me that. Every happy memory is made retroactive disgusting by the sort of person Yapetus turned out to be. I hate him so much. I'll never get over how much. Saturn. Yes, Mercury? Then why are you still pretending to be with celestial mechanics? Why are you doing this is the real question, Mercury. You know him like I do, so why are you still here? I apparently have enough power to destroy a colony, and I can ditch him whenever I want. Leave celestial mechanics, take Ganymede. I'll protect you. I'll make sure there's a good future in the end. You absolutely will not be fine if I leave. Of course I don't trust him at all, but he wants what I want. It's what you want too. I can't trust him on anything else, but I can trust him on that. Even if he's just doing this for his own gain, with some other agenda in mind, he's truly going to give us this. Disgusting. That's what I fell for, so stop reminding me. That's why I trust you too, of course, even though I shouldn't. I know you won't accept anything less than what you want. If you can get even half of that, it'll be more than enough for me. I want to do like I sort of wanted to do a smooch run on my first turn, but I sort of also want to stick with a loyalty run, because the idea of severing all ties with your past and shooting yourself into the far unknown in order to see what happens, God, it's the only thing I want in life. Ugh. Genuinely, honest to God, it like hurts with how good that sounds right now. Opening futures, closing pasts. Pluto hesitates because she's not ready for this kind of fight, and Saturn is. The colony shines like a star until you're right on top of it. Then it looms, impossibly large, translucent sphere, a drop of water suspended in space. Hi, Frici! I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. You have come in the middle of me playing a very confusing game, but ultimately what's happening is we're fucking about in space and giant robots, and maybe we'll flirt with some girls. You know, I'm doing my best. I'm chugging along as best I can, and that's about as far as I can go. You know, ugh. Right. Let's go fight a Pluto. A drop of water suspended in space. What's happening is, it's very difficult to explain because I don't super understand it. The character that we're playing as in this game, is part of a faction that wants to sever all ties with the past and shoot themselves off into the far unknown to see what happens. And the mission that we have at the moment is to destroy the colony where we got taught how to be a space robot pilot. And also there is a person there called Pluto who is the like hero of another faction who wants to keep the space colonies, and that's about it. Also, Pluto is like the toppiest top that ever did top. It's impressive and I love her. Translucent sphere, a drop of water suspended in space. Glistening beneath the drop of water, plastic clouds that form in its crumbling artificial atmosphere, to the strange haze that seeps from beneath the crumbling streets, it's possible to make out the fading light of the colony's collapsing system. A massive jewel, like a clean slice taken out of the earth, and floating in space until its gravity formed it into the tiniest planet. Even a tiny world is still a world. Who can touch this, move it even by an inch? Much less move the earth by an inch. Pluto drifts slowly in orbit around the colony, waiting. Even you don't know what to do sometimes, huh? Kinda stumped too, if I'm being honest, but sorry, destroying it sounds way easier than whatever they're trying to make you do. The string of pearls skates along the outer edges of the colony's ice atmosphere. She's having fun. She's playing. For just a moment, Pluto wonders what she's doing here. Oh no, Saturn. I'm happy to see you, but I was hoping I might be able to convince you to help me take it away. Oh yeah? What made you think that? For the same reason you thought you could convince me. Because you like me, or because you don't care for your side that much either. Care about all of us left here in space. It's amazing that you actually honestly do, but that's not what I asked, huh? There's a lot of ways to care about everyone up in space. Dragging a colony out of the Lagrange point yourself is one way to do it. There's another way to care about everyone up in space. You can show it by destroying this place too. You're saying that would free us from the past, but it won't make those memories go away. Making something out of them so that time and pain won't be wasted. This is important to me, and I'll fight for real over it. Don't look at me like that. You'll make me sad. You really don't need to be the one to tell me, because I already know that I'm doing something super dumb. I wonder, what do you want, and why do you think you can get it from me? It's just going to be a fight. Is that what you're after? The string of pearls presses its heel into the ice of the colony's atmosphere. Yes, even more so now. Didn't they teach you about sunk cost fallacies in the academy? I have a problem, which is that I'm playing a lot of reading heavy games, and I don't fully possess the ability to read out loud. Didn't they teach you about sunk cost fallacies in the academy? Memories should just be memories. That's why you kind of make me mad sometimes. But having this feeling you're going to do something way dumber and scarier than just fighting me. Am I right? Because after all, you said that there wasn't anything you could do, after you were shaking and afraid just from being close enough to me. This is true. This is true. I think I have the problem where, see the first half of a word and my brain fills it in completely incorrectly, or it fills it incorrectly and then I just, like, whatever the connection is that then makes that out into the word I'm trying to say is wrong. It looks like I can trust you to come back, right back, no matter how much I try and warn you, and trust you to come back twice as much. I feel like it's a universal experience. I have a few friends who are really good at reading out loud. I have a friend who used to... There are a whole bunch of us who had insomnia, and because their time zone was so far behind mine, would like sit in Discord and voice on my phone, and they would read a book out. That's fair. Yeah, it makes sense. I also there's something. Given the majority of the games that I like, I don't know how to put this. I thought a thought, but I couldn't turn it into words. There's some real value in wordy games like this one, or indeed like in games like Higurashi, where a lot of the... You have really sort of reading heavy games, but then the trade-off is that they can put loads and loads of stuff into it and still keep price low because you don't have to pay for people to read out loud, you know? Voice actors, that's the phrase I was looking for. You're wasted on protecting this pointless ball of scrap. Whoever is ordering you around has no idea what they're doing. Haha, you're so right. But I'm still not going to let you through. Wasted on Cradle's graces in general, and the rest of humanity too. Don't try to push my buttons like that. I don't think it's cute. It's a lot of work to be a human. I'm not trying to be cute, I mean it. It's more for some humans than for others. You're not mad at the humans who got to be human for free? It's a privilege to be human. Have you forgotten why we're here? Because humans who wanted to be more human took the least human of us up here to see how much more human they could be, and now they want to throw you away after they learned everything they could from you. Don't you resent humanity? I do. What do you do when someone says you can't have something? Do you think you should work twice as hard until you earn it? I don't. I want to smash it until no one can have it. You know, you're just like Lunaterra. Please don't say that, you're merciless. Haha, it's in a good way. Not even then. Don't get me wrong, it just depresses me to see you wasted on all them. You should be having fun. You know, I wish I could come here just for that. Just to have fun. Good, have fun with me. I know you want to show me mercy, lab rat to lab rat. Mutant bitch to mutant bitch. It's not what we need though, is it? I want to see the you that's having nothing but fun. Still getting used to this body, but I think I can still surprise you with it. And you like that, right? Cutting loose with no gravity to tie you down? Think about that every day. It's so tempting. You gotta be ginger with the universe, you know, Saturn? Now that you're this strong, you gotta be careful. So much can go wrong. I'll make sure to be very careful with the universe you love. You don't have to hold back with me though. Aren't I the only person you can go tide to tide with, holding nothing back? That's a big promise. I don't want to come off as full of myself, but I don't want you to underestimate me either. What happened is that we, Saturn, stole a very powerful ship and are now fucking about with it. I've been playing this game for an hour and a half and I will love it so much. I definitely feel like I had exactly the same visceral reaction to We Know the Devil, where I was just abruptly like, this is a game that gets me and I get it. More than many I've played in a long while. I don't want you to underestimate me either. Plastic girl to plastic girl, I wouldn't patronize you like that. It's tempting, but I wonder if you're really ready. You wouldn't mind getting your ship self-broken and dragged back to the Cradle's Grace's Dream Lab You wouldn't mind getting your ship self-broken and dragged back to the Cradle Grace's Dream Lab to do who knows what to? What is that? Supposed to sound bad? You really are. Oh, fine. I'm gonna start easy, okay? They flirted enough, so neither is in the mood to lie. So no holding back, a lie to others about how strong you are, and no mercy, a lie to yourself about how strong someone else is. When Pluto opens her arm wide enough for a gravity to condense, pull and tear through space, she's trusting Saturn can handle the pressure. She has faith Saturn will outdo her. Saturn meets Pluto's expectations with just a little bit of convulsing and shuddering. Then she exceeds them by darting like a bullet, a little hot arrow of danger, and just as dangerous to the touch. Crew and Macula is a big target, but Saturn isn't going to be lazy this time. This is the time to be precise, to throw everything in on the vector she's flying along, to not let Pluto's tidal forces budge her a millimetre, which is good because even then she only barely grazes Pluto. As I understand it, Pluto has the strength of being strong and big, and Saturn is little and fast and delicate, and then Lunaterra is highly skilled and impressive. Pluto's faster than you could ever imagine. The universe moves away, bending to not hit her, with tides that say, oh, coming into orbit is fine, but no touching. That you have to work for. That Saturn dead anyway is very bold of her. The burn on Crown and Macula when Saturn's light passed over Pluto stings only a little, but it was close. So Pluto takes her seriously and grabs the string of pearls by the tail, flings her into the colony surface and dives after her. I love that you can barely see what's going on with this artwork, but it's also very evocative. Saturn is basking in the bounty of attention. It requires all of Pluto's gravitational forces to keep her contained. The string of pearls makes her feel like goo, like a cartoon, like a liquid, and with it, she's slippery and untouchable too. Others would shatter under the pressure, but string of pearls bulges and squishes. Pluto pulls and pushes, trying to force her in a space that will sit still long enough she can deal with it. Saturn squeals in excitement until she can stop giggling long enough to push Pluto off with an electric burn. Pluto can't help but laugh too. It's funny how much nothing is working, even though she's trying as hard as she can. That makes her want to work as hard as she can. Lab-grown girls know, that-cultured girls know, carefully indoctrinated, carefully raised, specially gifted girls, they all know. Heroes want to hold us, but we don't need them at all. Rather than bandages and kindness, the sting of pressing wounds together is the medicine we need. No boy who wants to heal your wound is worth the one who tells you your wound is there. My heart! Can't believe it. Me neither. I really thought I'd actually be the one beating you. You didn't lie though. You really could endure it, all of it. Colony is much worse for wear. Saturn shattered against it many, many times. Pluto broke across it a few times too. It's shaking in the Lagrange point. You won, even though you lost. I had a lot of fun. I wouldn't have been able to have it with anyone else. I'm glad I trusted you not to lose. Ha, told you. Good girl. Should never have doubted one of us. Thank you, thank you. We did our best, had the most fun we could have. When we get to the moon, don't forget, you could keep having fun just like this, if you let me show you the way. God, I'm gay and I love this game a whole lot. Saturn, I would love it. Just love it. Yeah? If you messed everything up this time. Is this reverse psychology? Did I really reduce you to that? I'm a little impressed by your persistence in nagging me, but now I'm feeling like I pushed you to your limit. Shut up. As always, I am serious. Messing things up is literally the only thing in the world no one has ever needed to specifically tell me to do. And you keep yelling at me when I do. I've been looking into Iapetus's work on the Aversion Project. Oh, how much do you know? More than you now. Of course, it was all suspicious that Iapetus decided to support us. He was very insistent in his interest in taking humanity to the next stage. Pardon me. As if that is why any of us wanted to connect with a so-called existential threat. People who already had everything on Earth couldn't possibly understand. They just want even more for themselves. That's what I thought too. Iapetus's plan is very attractive to certain factions in Memorial Foundation. Certain factions in Memorial Foundation really like the days when humanity was united against the existential threat. Except aliens aren't real. Okay, they're nth-dimensional shadow cast by the gravitational impression of human culture and space-time, but that makes them a few shades sort of real and much less dangerous than their cousins on Earth, and even those are so weak kids with radios can take them out. Anyways, Pluto wiped them out. That was the whole plan. Since humanity doesn't care about them anymore, they'd never expect that we'd find a way to avert our tide reactors and become the aliens ourselves. The only alien is what's alien to us, and that's fundamentally humanity. We're aliens to ourselves. Fx equals that which humans are not. And Iapetus isn't going to give up everything he has for that. You think he's lying about wanting to. I think he's lying about himself wanting to. I think he's happy to let us complete the project and go home, because he'll already have what he and the rest of humanity is longing for. A scapegoat. Someone to be an alien humanity could guiltlessly fight against. Yes. I'm fine with abandoning Earth. It hasn't given me anything. But not on his terms. Not ever. Don't worry, Mercury. I've got a plan. No matter what, it won't go his way. Whee! Subject, RE. Origin, Ganymede Intercept, do not read Saturn. Author, Bridge Information Officer Mercury. Completely understood communicating with Iapetus in any capacity that's not technically. I know my boundaries, but you're very nice to worry. I know you're not jealous, because you do respect me, but don't make me worry. It's what I like about you. I know you're worried for me, not about me, and I appreciate that, but I do want to clarify things so you stop asking me about it, even though it's cute and I do appreciate it. Really, I'm not just saying that. Please don't hear that in a passive-aggressive voice. But I've been meaning to ask this for a while. Is it okay that I believe in this? It's important to me that you understand that it's nothing to do with him, so I worry that it means you don't understand what it means for me. I don't believe humanity needs to be punished. I'm fine with being human, but I think an important reminder is needed. Not alien in the sense of a foreign other that can bear all our rage and hatred, but alien in the sense of casting our own features into relief. I think what we see as results should shame us, but there are many things we need to see. You probably say that you support me and believe in me. Thank you. But you'd also say that it means something to you too. And that's really why I love you. Subject, String of Pearls Final Specifications. Origin, Iapetus Messages Intercept. Author, Celestial Mechanics Ship Self-Design. Upstairs say, thump thump, by the way, just in case you were wondering how it's going. Thump thump. This is not what we talked about, not by a mile. You know I don't actually have a moral compass that doesn't revolve around what's cool. So coming from me, just know that it's my professional opinion that I'm not even sure this is cool anymore. Creating theoretical matter is not even hard under lab conditions, and in space it's easy to sustain it, but the creation of exotic matter like electrotoxins can get really not fun if you aren't careful. Since you hate fun, I already know that's not what you're after, and you don't have to level with me or anything, that's fine. But I do want you to know that this thing is basically designed to degenerate as quickly as possible. The reactor tends towards aversion, and that will require a pilot I really would not want to meet, and a piloting style that no one should ever do. Eventually it's going to drag a pilot down, and that's going to be really weird and ugly unless they're immediately destroyed. Clearly you want that. I mean, you've said so, but if they're going to have so much fun, let me try to convince you should set a self-destruct in there. Maybe something cool will happen when she averts and the ship self-sweeps are anchored in space-time to mess everything up. If it's not, don't you want a backup option? That's the sort of shit that I'm after. You know? Like, to pilot a ship that will eventually self-destruct and take me with it. God, I love that. In the Garden District, closest to the malfunctioning and broken TARD reactor that kept the colony together, time and space aren't quite right. It's a perfect place for a real fight. How deep under Luna Terra's skin do you think she can get? Oh, this place. Don't feel like seeing home again? Oh, come on. Don't tell me you didn't have any fond memories of the Academy. I do, despite myself, and that's why I don't have any wish to see it like this. A ruined garden that only reminds us how weak the gravity of this whole venture really was compared to Earth. Not to mention it was all for something completely worthless too. Wait, now you're grumbling about a mission? This is historic. The Lagrange reactor was just a hollow shell, and there's barely any advantage to having getting it. There's barely be a trap to use you as bait to get the Memorial Foundation off our trail. Oh no, what a terrible trap to fall in. More flirting, I see. Is it unbearable? Yes, extremely. Are you really still getting nowhere with her? What are you talking about? I think you said you were going to crack her open and peel her shell, but I don't think you have. Ah, you don't know anything. Shh. Ah, completely and utterly correct then. She's highly evasive. Point blank or sniper shot. I can't seem to hit her. Your type, I see. Shut up. Got the Academy's most notorious heartbreaker to look like an idiot at me, so I win, so shut up. She's even stupider than I thought she was. But she's not as stupid as me. Ugh, you're the one with your guts all over the place. Just, fine. Frustrated, alright? But it's not because I'm not getting anywhere, or because I even care. Right, this time I'm done playing. Happy? If there's anything there, or if she's just metal all the way through, I'm gonna find out. And if she is that boring, I'll never forgive her. But I'm coming back with guts this time. Fight for real, in a fun way, obviously. Let's advances. So another thing, each of these you have, each character you play as is part of a different faction. You've got the pro-Earth faction, the pro-Space Colony faction, and the pro-let's see what the fuck's out there faction, basically. As you play through, you can make decisions that either result in a ending that favours your faction or an ending that favours another one. And I get the impression, though I don't know, that the betray ones that favours another one are the ones that involve more flirting and making out with other girls, but I'm kind of liking the loyal one, because yeah, the idea of severing all ties from your past and flinging yourself into space to see what happens, God, it's so attractive. I know I said this like 10 minutes ago, but I'm going to say it again. It's the only thing that I want in this life. A surprise attack isn't very sporting. Don't be jealous just because I got mine off first. You got a wound on me in the Lagrange reactor shell. It's not a good enough deal? No way. In fact, apologise. Hiding so I can't surprise you again is so unfair, Luna Terra. Let me bully you some more. I'll pass. You sure? You sure you don't want to get bullied? See if you can find me first. You like cat and mouse games, don't you? You want to try it again? I bet that you just play a game this time. Can you find me even when I'm serious? Then I'll get serious. Luna Terra hides in the Garden District, the one part of the colony she has no memories of. The Garden District doesn't have any trees or flowers or plants. It's not that kind of garden. A garden for the children who meant to inherit space. Not like Luna Terra, who came in the first generation, teenagers too old and too molded by Earth's gravity to inherit the cosmos. The second generation was raised here, in the light of the colony's centre, with the Lagrange tidal reactor Luna. In the light of the second generation was raised here, in the light of the colony's centre, the Lagrange tidal reactor Luna Terra remembers like the sun, with the hope that they would grow freely in the lightest of gravity, free of Earth's weight. Luna Terra is the one holding the useless shell of that reactor now. Even broken and useless, LT doesn't feel comfortable holding it. It's an unpleasant, untrustworthy object, and it feels wrong to hold. It was made by people, but it doesn't seem like it was. It's a fake, but it's unsettling close to what celestial mechanics eventually intended it to be, when they seized control of the reactor, before the conflict broke out. Something not made by humans. So useless, why don't you just give it back? You can tell what I'm thinking, huh? Or read between the lines. Just like Pluto, but different. Something I still can't understand. You've been playing with her too, haven't you? Sure have. Jealous? Of which of us, though? Both. I can never read the story like you both. I'm straightforward. It's not even a little true. You're being way too stingy with the narration. Narration? Still can't perceive space-time as a story? A narration spun out of the ambient gravity of humans, telling you about everything that is, if you can listen? Can't see how obviously your envy is bleeding out and everywhere, can you? Slipping, huh? Letting out more than I thought. But see why I'm jealous? I don't know anything about what you mean. I wish I could speak that language. It's amazing. You should really be sad you don't speak it. Just have this absence. Your impression of the narrative is something like spilled whiteout, a gushing ocean of bleach, which is a pain in the ass for someone like us. You also have a habit of acting too fast to get caught up in the story, especially when it's not going your way, 3 times faster than the story knows what to do with. That's how. You're different than Pluto. She would swell into the atmosphere, but you slowly bleed into the spaces between the lines, can feel you seeping through, blurring the lines between one and the other. What is it you're after? Curious? Then stop hiding. The rain-slick streets are looking more and more the same. The weather is malfunctioning and the moisture regulator is shot, and the failing gravity is doing strange things, playing strange tricks. Mara Crisium's feet are wet. She's afraid. She's falling right into a trap that feels like it's in every direction at once. You can't trick me. Lunaterra dodges at the last second, or was never there. If Saturn bleeds into the narrative, then Lunaterra's trick is having a real habit of interrupting the story just when it's getting good. Good thing she'll never know how much Saturn and Pluto think that's cool. You just accidentally said Saturn and Platon, but okay. I have eyes too, Lunaterra. Don't think gravity alone is enough. Saturn swipes again. Lunaterra wouldn't be hit by such a thing, but she isn't ready for the dripping, sparkling neurolightning. She misjudges the distance, the unsureness of gravity. Mara Crisium sparks and bleeds from her left arm. Lunaterra swings her spear, crushes the string of pearls to the ground, crumples and darts away, lost in the mist. Saturn's worse off, but her machine will fix itself, and the poison in Mara Crisium systems is only getting worse. Crisium systems. You almost got me, but not quite. Is your game off a little today, Lunaterra? Thought you were going to be serious. You're going to have to do a lot better than that if you want to see me serious. You misunderstanding me? I'm going to cheat. You're the one who has to take this seriously. How's the arm feeling? Still sparking? Still gooey? Doesn't take that much, you know. Have you been cleaning your system regularly? What kind of fight are you looking for? A one-sided fight where you try your hardest and still lose. Ha! Looking for payback? What? No, who cares about that? It's for you. Because you love getting owned. You're never holding back. There's no way I can beat you. You're even stronger than any story anyone's told about you. You always win and no one touches you. If ships have fights with life and death, that'd make you a genius. But they're not. They're made in the image of plastic toys to fight like plastic toys. So that makes you an idiot for not playing along and being honest. Ha ha. You'll save a lot of time if you give in and say I'm right now. If you beat me for real, that'll be all the answer you need. Ha! Stoic to the last. But that's great. You're holding out on me. It's actually kind of delicious. When's the story going to tell me what's happening? When are you going to let me hear all the static in your joints, the trembling in your mask, your slackening grip? God, I'm in love with the writing in this game and the design and the UI and everything. And the music. The music is so good. I'm so into this. I'm absolutely buying the soundtrack after this. Oh, I got shivers down my spines, as it were. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to know. Lunaterra knows that it's true. Saturn can't sense where she's at all, but she knows immediately that Lunaterra knows what she knows. Tell me all about that, and I promise, without any hate or fear, I'll listen. You don't believe me, but I promise, I won't laugh or hurt you. I can't see you, so you can escape if you want. I'll let you keep that little ball even, and the poison will wear off. But I want to see. Do you want to show me? The Mara Crisium crashes to the ground, skids along the wet streets of the colony. Her legs give out and her arms are too weak to catch her fall. String of pearls lands gently, surprisingly, but that's what these ships were meant to do. They were meant to land gently. Even the electrotoxins are tingly, not painful, in a warm, numbing sort of way, like licking a battery with every part of your body. What a phrase, huh? I get the feeling it's like when you get a tattoo, and it hurts, but at the same time the vibration just starts, like, giving you this sort of tingly numbness. Like, the specific bit where the needle is going in hurts, but the vibration of the tattoo gun doesn't. That's the impression I get, at least. I could be wrong. There's no way that Lunaterra can stand up. As soon as she lets it all in, she falls in a mess, totally defeated. Oh wow, you really did it. You got so quiet. You're so well trained. You're the big strong ace, but you shut down so quietly. You really can't deal with me at all. Why is that? Didn't say you weren't going to bully me. I'm showing all possible restraint. You really did make it hard. Thought you were kind of cool. You really acted like you knew what you were doing, even though you were so scared. Leave me alone. Oh no, baby, but you still love this? You're looking forward to it. I can see right through you. These ships are meant to touch. If you never lose, you never let anyone in. Thinking of this as losing at all is actually kind of sad. You want to give this all up and drag me home? You really sure? Lunaterra, you really ought not to lie to me so much. This smug, untouchable Lunaterra that I used to hate, she's so boring. But the you that you don't want anyone else to see, that's a much better you. That's the you I want to see. Oh my. Lunaterra is conscious of her own breath, of the unconscious, pulsing rhythm of a ship's elf, which trembles, and not just from the electrotoxins. She really can't move in any sort of effective way, but what she's feeling isn't fear or even helplessness. It's anticipation. She thought that she trusted Saturn as much as anyone else, not at all. Now that she has no choice, she's surprised. She trusts Saturn so much, even knowing exactly what she wants to do. Saturn plucks the broken reactor of my Critium hands and tosses it away like trash. And I will. Now that I have the power to peel your skin off and see it. I'm really happy. I never thought I'd finally get to see you like this, even though you're letting me. Little secrets just for me that the narration will never tell. For you only. So that only I get to see you twitching and helpless. No one else knows. Not telling, but it's just for you, so keep it ambiguous. Got it. I could be straddling you and pinning you, that's definitely possible, but not for certain. I'm not saying anything definite. You've got it. Thank you. I've got my pride. Your pride? Tell me about that. It's worth a lot to me. Then I'm worth even more, right? It's January 30th, 1981, and the day is almost here. The deadline to save everyone who came up to space with us, fought with us, tried to bring everyone up with us. If we shut down the lunar gravity well, there won't be any choice left. The power that keeps our ship cells in check will fall apart, and we won't have anywhere else to go but home. If we kill the dream, no one will die. We really, really hope that's true. No one should die in space. No one should die, period. No one has to die, because ships have combat shimmering missiles of light, cosmic explosions, electricity that sears through the soul. Blade science is impossible for a human to produce. Dances of combat without end. A fight against ideas with toys. Humans would never show that sort of compassion to each other. Earth's answer is a single atomic particle fired at near light speed directly into the cockpit core. A true weapon from a military force. The quickest, most efficient, instantaneous, unavoidable way to kill a human. The most boring possible way to pointlessly die. No drama, no meaning, just nothing. Lunaterra, Memorial Foundation ace pilot. It's January 31st, 1981. In the end, they might get everything they want, in the way that no one else wants. And if we open up the lunar gravity well, then we can establish forever another Earth. And maybe another. We can inhabit the whole system. But that will cut humanity into two and more. The distance will be so much further. Everything we have will be even further from them. How much are we going to lose? How much will we never be able to give them? The moon is very close to being part of Earth. It's full of life and humans can live here now. It feels impossible, and I don't want to give it up. We should break it off forever, shouldn't we? All I want is to stitch these two humanities together. But if one of us dies as a result, I will fight forever to keep that precious thing alive. Pluto, Princess of Cradle's Graces. It's January 31st, 1981. They don't name it because naming it gives it power, but not naming it gives it more. It must be in every corner, behind every door. Far, far away in the spaces between stars. It is defined and categorized in every human culture, and it is deliberately omitted from explicit naming conventions by the Memorial Foundation in favor of a euphemistic, less captivating to the imagination, such as existential threat, rather than a word that would stimulate the imagination. But a trick like this will not work. In the euphemism is a hollow void that holds all fears and possibilities. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. But what is not does not stop existing. And it, like humans, can decide. It's the kiss of inverse, everything that humans can imagine but can't become. The shortcut to attaining it is to forsake everything that humans already are. If a bunch of idiots get tricked into going there, it would make a very convenient enemy for Earth. That's the real fear. Before that happens, I will tell you a little secret. Ready? Saturn, Celestial Mechanics Test Pilot. Day 7. Route installation complete. New OS in operation. Celestial Mechanics fleet collecting in orbit of Earth's moon, not mood. Request for assistance received. Ignore. Awaiting manual input of mission parameters. Assist Cradle's Graces and Celestial Mechanics with the opening of the gravity well and changing gravitational constants to make conflict with Earth possible. Mission created. Get in as much trouble as possible with Memorial Foundation ace. Mission created. Calculating gravitational slingshot data from server hack. Ready for launch? Yes. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Earth's moon. Do you still think... I just lost my voice there briefly. Do you still think about Neath still? That's out of nowhere. Think about them every day, obviously. They're the reason Celestial Mechanics exists. I got distracted reading these things. First to understand what happened to them, and then because we couldn't stop thinking about it, about how to make what happened to them happen to us. We still don't know exactly what it was. They had us all get together to reach through space and time and contact the existential threat wherever it came from, to make sure that it truly had been defeated for good. I think they were really hoping it wasn't. We felt the same, especially us who never got to fight yet. We reached together as far as we could, and Neith reached farther than anyone. I don't think it would have been them before anyone else. But I didn't know them. Was it that they reached too far? Or what? Or something reached to them? What's the difference? In the end they got it, whatever it was. You having second thoughts? Maybe. They were the only one. I always wondered why that was. Were they special? In a good way or a bad way? Were they chosen? What would be the criteria? We know it's none of that, though. Just a lonely, unchosen child. Without so little presence in this world, they fell into another one. That's how it is. The only trick is how to do it on purpose. That's just it. Are we too attached? I want to be something new and share it with everyone. Am I too heavy for the apple? It's a thin line between falling into inverse because you have hope, and because you don't have any left. We should be glad it's not so easy, you know? Subject: Why children? Origin: Memorial Foundation Space Program Documentation. Author: Director Nix. They aren't children anymore, but when they were pilots, they were, for all the obvious reasons that children are more suited to be pilots than adults. Since the decline of the space program, there have been fewer and fewer ways for new recruits, and the current pilot generations have no successors. Adults are serving as pilots because there are no longer any children in space, and adults should not have to serve as pilots. It'd be cruel to send children to fight a war so that adults don't have to, especially as adults are far more powerful tidal forces than children. In the physical and metaphorical manifestation, tied to the measurement of the authority that culture has over the universe, the light of the soul that turns all impossible things into our dominion. The gravitational forces of children are weak enough to perceive and engage the existential threat without obliterating it instantly, and as a cancer that exerts a subtle influence in the back of our knowing mind, they are suited to protect us from it. For this reason, Memorial Foundation has pushed against traditional cultural institutions for engaging existential threats with this more humane practice, due to the resiliency of children and detrimental long-term effects contact. For this reason, Memorial Foundation has pushed against traditional cultural institutions for engaging existential threats with this more humane practice, due to the resiliency of children and detrimental long-term effect conflict with existential threats has on adults in the vast majority of cases. In some exceptional circumstances, contamination lingers in children. The gravitational forces never achieve sufficient power to extinguish the existential threat without resistance. Without the tidal force to challenge other adults, they remain in limbo, unsuited to anything else. The remaining small percentage of the original pilot program that continues to reside in space is made of such cases. People too touched by space being to come home, basically. Subject: New aversion proposal. Origin: Memorial Foundation Central Classified Extract. Author: Memorial Foundation Celestial Mechanics. Thank you. I'm no different from my other colleagues. I think we all want the same thing ultimately, every one of us. I'd implore you to be forgiving of them, though not of their methods. Many of us were thankful for ending the Cold War. The paranoia and suspicion that accompanied the strength of the existential threat in this world, as it fed on the trauma and malaise and discontent of the world after the war. But I think some of us must have some reservation about the future. In abandoning existential threats to address the threats of our home, it will inevitably result in us turning to conflict between humans once more, and in turn the existential threat will thrive. You're looking for the smoothest, most uncontested future. I won't lie, this will not ensure happiness for everyone. In fact, it may be difficult to understand how much it will ensure the opposite for what we ensure a very few. But what I'm proposing will ensure the maximum happiness for the maximum number of people. And what else can we do? So, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or perhaps rather it's alright to make everything terrible for a few people in order to make something better for a few people. Okay. Let's go for plastic versus metal. I think the acceleration due to gravity will be a good finishing. Spinning up tidal reactor. Frequency double checks, first turn, 100%. Frequency double checks, second turn. Stop and spin them again. From 0, again, where were they at? 99.99%, but it doesn't matter, they should be at 100%, so we're spinning them again. Mercury, if I go out and die, it's not going to be because we didn't triple check every reactor pulse. Saturn, this time please, could you listen for once? No matter how useless I know that telling you this is, I know I say this over and over again, but can you listen seriously? Tell me you're not going to be risky this time. It's not a game anymore. This mission is different. It's not ship self to ship self. Those troops are real weapons from Earth, designed for threats that are real, not existential. They're perfectly capable of killing. They're designed for no other purpose. There's not even going to be an issue though, because your orders are strictly to observe and not get remotely close enough to engage. They won't leave stationary orbit around the near side of the moon. the Earth's insurance plan, and we can ignore them as soon as we make sure that's all they're doing. Don't joke about dying. That can happen. It won't if everything is perfect and you do exactly what you're supposed to do. Finally matters this time and you... Mercury. Mercury, please. I'm actually really sorry, Mercury. I didn't mean to make you worry. I didn't mean to make you really worry for real. Promise I'm not trying to die, okay? I promise, okay? Making poor choices about who to kiss and what to do isn't the same thing. I listen to you when it's for real, okay? I wouldn't cross the line. You're my friend. No one else. No one else is worth you. You're the most important. We've been through too much. I wouldn't ever, ever go back, or throw everything we've got away. You know that, right? Sorry I'm acting like I forgot. Mercury? Hey, say something. You idiot. Give me a minute. Damn it, I was gonna act like I tricked you. I was gonna get you to feel smug, make you think everything was serious, and I was gonna lord it over you. But now I'm crying, asshole. Sorry about me. But I love you too, don't worry. No, we're gonna go for a fully loyal run. Tearing that machine to pieces. Oh, I love this music. So good. Well, almost seems like it can't be a coincidence bumping into you again. Fancy seeing you here. A likely story, but please stay down. It's closing in. The thing wants to murder us very badly. It wants to kill. Yep, aren't you itching to fight it? Autonomous military unit is waiting for opportunities, it seems, but it's really just reacting conditions and responding with protocol. It's inevitability, gravity, law. Humans can be pretty unambiguous, which is why if you want something done precisely, you must teach it only a sliver of what humans know. If you want someone dead without complication, you need to remove nuance first. It doesn't have any kind of morality system or decision-making process. It's very non-discriminatory. Just gravity and nothing else. It's a gun and not much else. So maybe you should stop harassing it so much? It's annoying though. I want to bully it. Promised that I wouldn't tangle with something if it was really life or death. But now that I'm here, I'm too tempted. I just absolutely want to tear it to pieces. Completely destroy it like it wants to destroy me. You ever feel that? Even when you're terrified? Especially then, but it's not worth fighting. Not at all, even a little. It's like fighting gravity or a whole planet. What can you call winning against something like that? There are a million more. Can't have a real argument with something like that. They sent autonomous troops because they didn't want to have one in the first place. Just goes to show they really don't care what happens to space or anyone in it. Or they do, and they want this badly to believe they don't. I'm gonna hate this, but it makes me wish I could crush them even more, sorry. There has to be a way, right? Unlike a ship's elf, the autonomous military unit doesn't have the shape that remotely resembles a person. There's no need for that, obviously. Give something a human shape only if you wanted it to be truly able to express the fullness of being a human. War has never been fought like that. Military technology is designed to narrow available resources in order to efficiently execute a single specific function. Giant robots have never been practical for war. What is necessary is a single vector pointed in an certain inflexible fixed direction. The autonomous military unit may not look human, but if it is human, a single uncomplicated human thought. Die. I'm worried that telling you this would just encourage you, so I shouldn't. It feels like a bad idea. But they're not invincible or almighty against us, even if they're incredibly, overwhelmingly powerful, especially here in the liminal zones of the moon, but not ever, not anywhere. Ha! It's nice to hear even you get mad about it. I understand the math. We're risking our lives and our personhood, and they're not. It's very one-sided. Humans are cowards, and that makes me want to fight it even more. I'm saying it's not worth it. The state will be lost on Earth. We've got an endless number of drones. But you can destroy them, right? I'm not asking if there's a point. I don't care about that. I'm asking if we can. Let me know how you did it, right? Because you have. You really don't know, Saturn. You just don't. And you never will. You can wish and fight, but Earth will never let us go. 9.8 milliseconds squared is what... miles per second squared is what we're bound to. Your weight and mine are nothing compared to that speed. We can't even scratch the surface. But you're right. It was stupid, but when I was with Cradle's Graces, I destroyed one. Pluto made me promise never to risk my life over something like that again. It's a huge brag, but given all that, kind of crazy thing to do. Why? Not that I think it doesn't rule. I was feeling the same way you were feeling. Pure spite. I'm not quite as bad anymore. At least I'm not trying not to be. I know that feeling. It's easy to bet your life when you don't care whether you lose it or not. If we fight together, we'll be betting on each other. It doubles the risk and there's still no point. Is there really no point to it though? Unless, okay, that's true, but not pointless. You're so clever, Lunaterra, but you've outsmarted yourself. And now you're believing there's no meaning in fighting against that blind and unstoppable force. I definitely know what battles I want to fight. The senseless eye of the autonomous weapon fixates on their location, but the string of pearls doesn't give it time to get inquisitive. Sounds closing the distance, cheating distances. It reflects a The attempts to close distance too, but its calculations seem to be constantly just off. Saturn, come back! What did I just say? Were you listening to yourself? Aren't we doing this? You gonna prove my point or what? It's no big deal for you, right? You've done it before, right? It'll be twice as easy now. Don't make me fight it alone. That'll be fucked up. It'll be heroic if there's two of us, so come on, enable me. Don't you want me to not end up like you? Don't you want to not end up like you? The AMU is extremely simple. It fires a simple burst of metal directly at a cockpit, particle unaffected by gravity, instantly lethal. It's a gun. Takes all the drama and expression out of fighting, the ultimate anticlimax. So why true combat is ugly, arbitrary, horrifying, a struggle for power in absolute terms, not a romance like fighting in a perfect body can be. It's only because you did something so stupid that I'm joining you. A blue elusive streak, unmistakable but impossible to pin down, follows Saturn. Liar, fake, hypocrite, you never smiled as much as you are right now. Against even a single autonomous unit, not dying starts out hard and keeps getting harder. Saturn can cheat the distance. It's the reason she isn't instantly dead. The targeting is flawless and predictive, based on clear indentations made in space-time culture by gravity. But Saturn just cheats. Every time she changes the maths. And every time it adjusts to correct and keeps getting smarter and harder. Still, Saturn does the maths better than it can. Lunatera will die if she thinks to herself about what's happening for even a single second. So she doesn't. She verbs instead. Do this, do that. Make it real. Make it happen. Don't think or blink. Simply, impossibly, always be doing. Always be being. Don't get hit and never die. Nothing like life or death to remind you that being alive is great, and that in that state you can become infinitely capable of fighting tooth and nail no matter what. When Myrocrisium's hard light slug hits the unit's chassis, it miscalculates, dips in motion, but it's undeterred. It can endure much more than that. Lunatera repeats that and fires 12 dozen more, as point blank as possible. No time for mercy, so increase the output more than should be possible. Defensive insulation keeps it protected from the string of pearls electrotoxins. All the string of pearls can leave is a series of bleeding, oozing, hot pink pinpricks. Nothing but scratches, till there are so many of them that they aren't just scratches anymore. There's no limit to how mean she can get. Something else, fighting like this. I wasn't ready. Doing amazing. You're unreal. You have to be, otherwise you're dead. So don't let up, don't stop, keep going. It's the only way. Every approach and hit counts. You've got to be perfect. The AMU is fast. Faster than either of them, but it isn't faster than coincidence. It's not fast enough to predict someone who's not thinking, and it's not faster than cheeking. Saturn works a whole hand into its guts and comes out with a fistful. It has dozens of redundant components designed to withstand unreal trauma and continue fighting, but there's a slight delay as failsafe switch circuits. The moment is time enough for Lunatera to plunge her iridescent blade into flailing sensors that burn into white light. Even torn in half, ripped apart both ways by a division of light and dark, undone, the autonomous unit still moves. The only way they will win is to be completely thorough. Pull the guts out every which way, never show mercy, and never let go until they bathe in it head to toe. At the end, they don't even realise when the moment came they were still alive, that they'd won. Are you finally satisfied? God, it was worse than I remembered. No idea how I did it alone. Feel incredible. Beyond satisfied. If I didn't almost feel dead, I'd be begging you to do that all over again. Ha! I knew it'd just encourage you. Shows the good it did. You know, Lunatera, I'm fighting. No matter what. No matter who wins. I know the best I can hope for is half of what I want. But I'm not here for a realistic outcome. Even if that's all we get. I'm just gonna fight. Forever. With perfect greed. Until I get everything. I don't know if I can be that cool. When it comes down to it, I won't stop either. That is a good. I love her a lot. Everything is ready for you. I wish you had let me help more. You'll be fine back home. Without a ship. I envy you a little bit. Piloting is for girls and jocks. It's not my thing. But I wish I was coming with you. Sometimes, a very, very tiny bit. Mercury. We're very different, but I love you. We're parts of the same thing. We wanted the same things, and I'll walk alongside you until we get them. Really? You're not leaving, possibly forever? If I'm leaving, you're coming with me. If I stay, I'll bring you home. You know you can't rely on me for anything, but you can count on me for this. I promise. I promise. You promise with correct punctuation and capitalization? So you know it's real. What else can I do to pay you back? Nothing. I count on you for a lot, Saturn. The same way you count on me. It's giving me the feels. Subject. Why children? Origin, pilot program training documentation leaked. Author, Memorial Foundation Notosphere Archives. By the end of the space program, with recruitment having stopped almost a decade before the official decommissioning of the space program, all the pilots become adults, yet they were recruited as children and spent the fiercest years of fighting against the existential threat as children. Much like criticisms levied at the scout programs on Earth, it was a motion that the Memorial Foundation considered heavily in deciding how to recruit their pilots. Children have no special piloting qualities, with much weaker tidal authority than adults, who of course have the tidal authority to engage other adults. Adults would be stronger, more powerfully able to use ship cells, much more so the beloved and chosen adults rather than the discarded and flawed children that were chosen. On Earth, adults with much stronger tidal forces than children will destroy the existential threat before even comprehending it, and because of this, those threats are able to hide in the world and prey on those who are more weak, such as children, or those who are unchosen even as adults. Those who are strong enough should struggle with other humans, and those who are weaker protect the rest from trivial threats outside humanity. Sustained contact with the existential threat often exacerbates this effect, and there's a cold twofold reason for delegating who will and will not confront existential threats. Children and the unchosen bear the burden, so adults will not be worn away. So yeah, they chose children in the Drake so that the competent adults can continue to be competent. Doesn't that feel oh so relatable? I shouldn't say incompetent adults, because it basically describes me, right? Although I'm pretty certain anyone playing this game will go, you know what? It describes me too. So, God, I'm so into it. I'm so overwhelmingly into it. Celestial mechanics and Cradle's Grace have one thing in common, and that's escaping Pluto's gravity. To do that, they need Saturn and Pluto to work together to corrupt the lunar gravity well. It's an opportunity for one to get the upper hand over the other, but they're not thinking about it politically. How's the new equipment fitting? It's not that much weirder than how it was before. Mission really is a weird one, Mercury. This was always the plan, you know that. The lunar gravity well is the anchor that all tidal reactors resonate with. It's how ship cells maintain their form, how colonies on other planets and orbital bases and ships maintain environments humans can survive in. Gravity in both a literal and figurative sense is required for us to live in space. Without it, we dissolve into the universe, become everything that humans aren't. There's a lot of that in the universe, if you noticed. If we want to turn into something interesting and specific, we have to make sure that we're controlling the aversion process. Is it going to work? Probably not. Wouldn't trust Iapetus to do this right. There's nothing in it for him, so why would he care? When he lived on Earth, he had everything he wanted. He isn't like anyone else who came to space. He's just flirting with the idea of transcending human limits for boring reasons and only for his. There are no places left on Earth to conquer, so he wants to be the first to own the future. If this actually works, I don't want to share it with him. If this actually works, I don't want to share it with him. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I told you I was playing this how I wanted, right? I'm not letting him have this. Saturn tempts Pluto to fall in with her. Celestial mechanics advances. On the lunar South Pole, the moon's first city glitters mundanely, so ordinary it's hard to believe it's not just another site on Earth. The Lagrange quality was destroyed, the Ares colony was stillborn, but Earth's satellite is almost as much Earth as Earth is. So we have the authority to name Earth's satellite the Moon, part of our body, the native sphere, and not foreign, unknown, lunar. Even if the space program is ended, the Moon will remain part of Earth, as it once was, before a cosmic event tore it from Earth. Reclaiming the Moon was a historically and existentially important event for all of us. Except for this impossible tower on an impossible mountain, and a point of eternal light which is not so earthy yet. The gravity well is suspended directly above the tower's point, resonating with Earth, to keep every wayward human in space grounded. The Moon has been taught almost all of the Earth's gravity, but not quite. There is still some possibility left. You're quiet. Are you up to something? What makes you say that? The tilde, but also everything else. Hey, I'm being very sneaky here. The string of pearls and Macula circle around the small, glimmering void of the gravity well. For all the good it might do, Celestial Mechanics and Cradle's Graces capital ships are standing by. Just not too close. Who knows what could happen? Should be suspicious, shouldn't I? Think you must have some sort of evil plan. Of course, you should always be suspicious. I'm shifty. I'm here to get the upper hand. Good, that's why I'm here too. Still, I don't mind if it's your evil plan that finally succeeds, as long as it's yours. You're trying to fluster me. Try harder. I mean, it is working, I just want to get flustered more. You're in a really good mood, so I'm extra worried. More worried to be working with you than all the times fighting you. Not in a bad way, though. The gravity well is a massive engine and it is very stable. To destabilize it is dangerous, to everyone and everything, which is why they're opening it. The escorting operational platforms from Cradle's Graces and Celestial Mechanics tonelessly coordinate with each other to instruct Saturn and Pluto on preparations, like exes that are forced to attend an event with the children together, because that's what they are. Now you're the one who's quiet. I was in a good mood. Did I tease you too much? Oh no, I was just remembering something. Do you remember this too? We did something like this before, a long time ago. We did? Together? I only saw you a little bit back on campus. It was kind of a weird time. You seemed really far away then, more so than now, and we weren't there that long. For the third generation, they wanted to kickstart the process, you know. Not a whole childhood of care and attention, but condensed, chemically assisted, cybernetic enhanced growth. They wanted us to go from nothing to perfect. I guess by that standard, we didn't fall as short as we could have. Unfolding dimensional chords. Begin torque acceleration. They were hard times. You know I was really bad at first, right? Not just terrible at all the classes, all of the tests, all of the work, but I wasn't obedient or likable either. I was super annoying. Haha. Still feels like that's me most of the time. That can't be true. Of course it's true. Wouldn't have tried so hard if I hadn't been like that at first. When I first got here, I knew I was lucky and should have been much happier than I was on Earth, but everything felt wrong. It took a long time for those memories to turn happy. Containing stray particles, establishing net. It was the opposite for me. At first I loved being a science experiment, but I guess it would have been different for you. I didn't think about that. But you made it sound like we met each other before. Enabling physical counselor, limit, off. I'm good at remembering people. There's not that many of us, so it's not that hard, but I remember you. You looked like you started out perfect. You know, I was a little jealous of you. I'm not surprised you don't remember the one thing we did together. Everyone was there, and we were just thinking about what happened, and not anything else. You're talking about, yeah, that. We were all there, so of course you were there. I didn't think about that, either. Nyx, Yaptus, and Europa all wanted the space program to justify its existence. Earth didn't agree. The alien threat that we defeated with such ease wasn't even worth it. Just a shadow created by waves of humanity in space. A colour and a light that fought us and never came into focus. So they had us all come together over the gravity well, just like this, to see if we could pull whatever they were more fully into our universe, and then it went so wrong. That was when the space program really ended, wasn't it? We should never have done it. It was risky, and no one knew what they were doing, and everyone was desperate. I don't know, maybe Nath doesn't feel the same way. The tiny points of glimmering darkness in the gravity well sometimes shine in a way that for a moment seems like there's something inside it. I hope that's true. I want to believe it. I can't blame them for what happened though, either way. Ha, really though? What do you mean, can't blame them? I mean, they were the one who gave in, right? When most people talk about what Nath did or what happened, when they turned inside out in the light of the gravity well, it was as if it was a horrible accident. Not something they did on purpose. Why do you talk about it like it was? I just had this feeling. I didn't really know Nath at all. Maybe I should just be honest. For a second I was thinking the same thing. What if I jump in? I thought the same thing. We could have been like them. During the testing, when we saw the gravity well opening before us, we could have jumped in too if we wanted to. It was scary. It was. But a lot of us looked at that and after we thought, us too. And that was how celestial mechanics was born. That's the truth, whatever Yaptus really wants aside. We have our own ideas. That's amazing. Couldn't be so brave. When Earth looked at what emerged, they were filled with despair, so that's how I decided to feel too. After all, it was proof that the existential threat was the same thing it's always been, the same thing we've been fighting as long as humans have been humans, the shadow of possibility cast by us. The not quite there aliens we'd fought for so long were just caused by our ripples in space-time. We only had ourselves to lose, and nothing to gain by fighting them. Where Nath went, and what they became, only Venus knows. What did you really feel in that moment, before you told yourself otherwise? I'll tell you how I felt. I felt smug. I mean, I did everything right and that loser messed it up. When I learned it was the end of the program, I was mad. But when they demoted me from piloting anyway, I realised I was the fool. It was an important lesson on not being a good girl. Stabilising reaction. Synchronicity perfect. Hold until stable. Feel like I know you a little better now, Saturn. Me too. In a new kind of way. Now you. What did you really feel? The gravity well opens. The reactor is turned inside out, from shining white to infinite black, drawing in all that is and emitting all that isn't yet. But with gravity itself, the weight we have in the universe, that alone is all we need to touch. Oh, there you are. I knew we'd only get a moment to touch. Do you maybe think sometimes of falling in? Even you must have thought about it. Core resonance in perfect conditions, ready for full release. Gravity well unbound, all stability checks nominal. Here it comes. Back then, I almost did jump in. I thought about it before it was happening, when they said you must not under any circumstances. It would make anything I couldn't do possible if I left everything I had behind. It's an awful paradox of a deal, but I wanted to do it so much I would have if Nath hadn't wanted it 1 second more. I've never told anyone that. You're really good at seducing people, Saturn. If I gave you the chance to fall in again, would you? Would you fall in with me? Oh, just you wait and see. The gravity well shines. It is collapsing into a star. Everything is starting. The opening was peaceful, perfect, no problems. Yet there is a feeling, like the fluttering of wings, deep down. Day 9. Well then, I'm quite impressed. You don't even sound surprised, with how much I fucked everything up. Thought I'd get to see you surprised for once. If you had this much faith in me, you shouldn't have got so mad. I wouldn't be respecting you very much if I wasn't prepared with contingency plans. But I'm delighted to not need them. Ha! Thought so. I used to think you knew everything. Oh, good to see your understanding the fallibility of your superiors. Now I understand it's because you just don't have any experience not getting what you want. And you always are sure deep down it'll turn out for you. You and me. I'm no stranger to not getting what I want. The world would be a very different place if I did. No, Iapetus. Not even close. You've never even come close to not getting what you want, like I have. Forgive me then, if you put it like that. I'm certainly much closer than you. But that's the reason for this arrangement, of course. You will all get the bodies you wanted so much. And Earth will have the villain it desires. Ah, so you are that clever. What of it? Still a mutually beneficial scenario. You and humanity will be so different from each other, you cannot possibly understand or communicate with each other. Both sides can fight each other with abandon until the end of time and never hurt those they love. You will have yours, we will have ours. If you have the will to abandon your own humanity, then abandoning the rest of the human race who never cared for you in the slightest should be trivial. Ah, you don't know how relieved that makes me to hear. You really don't understand, whether it's spite or love. No way I'm not sharing this gift. The fleet crashed, ship self against ship self. In the shadow of the gravity well, none of it is visible from Earth. A quiet conflict, not a war as has been stressed. It's more like a very pointed argument. Could be a conversation if only they understood each other. And sometimes they do. Could be kissing if they loved each other. And sometimes they do. With the gravity well open, unrestrained, they fight weightlessly under the full weight of their own gravity alone. A truer way to fight than anyone has experienced before. To fight with one's own self and the full weight of one's own gravity, and the hollow weight of the inverse, is the only time this will be possible. Our true power, unrestrained. Celestial mechanics simply takes advantage when no one else is looking. Celestial mechanics made no plans to win. After all, there's no way to win in this sort of conflict. The winner only has to prove a point. The way that celestial mechanics accomplishes this is simple. True to themselves, without the weight of gravity tying them to Earth, tying them to orbit, holding them in their human forms, what happens next is the natural result, and that's what proves their point. It doesn't immediately clear anything as wrong. It happens naturally as a consequence of how unrestrained It doesn't immediately clear anything as wrong. It happens naturally as a consequence of truly unrestrained conflict, each one climbing to the top, seeing how far their limits are, and realizing suddenly there aren't any. When the first pilot sends her reactor's limits past the theoretically possible range, her reactor averts, and what only existed deep inside is now the face that she wears. A perfect, unbelievably true self, so true it cannot exist even in orbit. Until she's joined by another and another. In unison, their gravity holds them together. Good job, Saturn. It's exactly how I imagined. You're not having second thoughts, are you? It's everything you wanted, and it'll be good for Earth as well. Your infection of the gravity well was perfect, and you've successfully fused with your ship self, just like you wanted. It's for our happiness too, of course. Humans will get to live as humans, aliens as aliens, as enemies mutually agreed upon with no possibility of communication or reconciliation, and no conflict or guilt on our own sides. Humanity shouldn't externalise all of their problems, but I think we should still manage progression with most of them. And with your hands already sunk into the gravity well, I should tell you it's technically too late. Things will take care of themselves from here. Thanks to your actions, I have had more than enough time to prepare for re-entry. Knew it would be that easy for you to ditch us. Not so. I still find you all so fascinating. Leading such beautiful lives. I have regrets, of course, but I have a real world to get back to. I'm not having regrets either. I'm only mad about how much you're underestimating me, because you think I'm satisfied only getting what I want, and not greedy enough for more. Saturn breaks open her circuits, and the aversion starts immediately. She can feel the gravity well pulling her inside out, the secrets within humans to be pulled to the fore. She needs it, but not just yet. I wonder what it is you think you can do at this point. You've already conceded. Unless you're hoping for some reconciliation between humanity and the alien. That is, by definition, impossible. It must not be too impossible, or you wouldn't be training all your weapons on me. Well, I am impressed, because I finally have no idea what it is you're doing. But just because I don't understand doesn't mean I'm not going to prevent it. You have no understanding of the violence of actual combat is like under Earth's authority. Iapetus's... pardon me. Iapetus, it says, Roncevotera is equipped with certain features that allow it to divide and categorize. It's an abstract ability with a lot of applications, sophisticated and sinister, and the warrant of Earth itself behind it. So Lunatera thinks the best solution is to just shoot him. A lot. It's honestly a very good solution. Iapetus buckles, and whatever he thought he was doing, he isn't. Huh, easy. It's because the hard part's coming next. Promise? Ha, you say that now. Thanks for going along, even though I didn't tell you anything. I know how to make the best of a bad ending. Hey, it's not anything worse than whatever you had planned, probably. So help me make it the best bad end we can find. Pay attention or die. The intent is lethal and simple, but the weight is not heavy enough to kill. String of pearls tears a hot pink scar through space-time. His bullets can go there. If you can come close enough to talk to me, you can come close enough to kill me. But I don't want either. I want to never see or know you throughout space-time. Indeed, so complete the transition. If you remain human, you'll die. I can ensure it. The autonomous military units come to its aid, but the sensors are off. The movements are slow. Human gravity is losing its authority here, and the movement tools are useless. Could seriously really use a little bit of help here. Well, if you're actually asking. Pluto unfolds the rhythm. She decodes the sequence. Plate shifts, engine hum, her eyes open. So she opens up her eye. Her other, biggest eye, big enough to swallow it whole, and then she blinks and swallows. She's got hungry eyes. Pluto's hands hold Saturn tightly. Thought you promised me no bad endings? That's what I'm trying. Might really be working. This already feels too good. I really know what you mean now. Hi Vixie! Thank you very much for the raid. It is very much appreciated. I hope you're doing well. Hi Aura. It's alright, Freechy. No one has to know. You guys have come at the climax of a story about trying to. It's true. Freechu's always in my watch list, regardless of whether or not he's actually there. You've come at the confusing climax of a game about severing all ties from your past and launching yourself into space to see what happens. And I really like it. I'm really enjoying it. Also, the music is very good. If it's too loud, let me know and I'll turn it down. I hate audio mixing and I'm terrible at it. Anyway, hello Vixie, thank you very much for the raid. Thank you for the sub, Oro. Oro Vixie. Is very appreciated. You guys are being very nice to me right now, so. Watch as I hit the wrong box, because I am a good person. And thank you for the follow. What is going on here, Oro? This is many subs. Hello, Dave. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for the follow. I'm very confused by what's happening, but trust me that I'm making the heart thing with my face. Hands too. Thank you very much, Oro. It is very much appreciated. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, so thank you very much. Surprise, it is now. Exactly, right? Like, it's the easiest way to do sub-only chat, just everyone gets subs. It works, right? Looks around shiftily. Oh, whoa. Story. Beating up a bad guy. That's what we're doing. Might really be working. This already feels too good. I really know what you mean now. Do you have an answer? I'm sort of counting on you for it. You think I know how to find the good future in all this? Well, you're a good person. I need you to be the one not just thinking about us, but the humans left behind too. You think you wouldn't? I think you think too much of me and too little of yourself. Iapetus has an answer. The story ends when the weapon that is designed without exception to kill does so, and forces a choice between one of two sides, human or alien, two distinct and incompatible worlds. The mathematical model needs to be perfect. It needs to allow for exchanges of matter/light/information without allowing for understanding or communication. This is an extremely easy calculation to create. It's the oldest narrative there is. It's the one that Earth has told again and again and again. Iapetus is an extensive library to draw from, starting from the first moments humans separated light from dark. There is a way, and fuck off with this. We don't want it. Saturn throws that narration out. Why should it work like that? Why not make something different? Who says physics works this way? Who says the calculations turn out that way? Iapetus wants us to take the fall. For everyone. For the Earth. For us to scapegoat each other. I hate that. If our cores collapse, a world where anything is possible arises, and at the same time we will have closed off all the possibilities that make us human. The existential threat we always feared and hoped to unite us will be real, and they'll finally have a real war. I want all of that, but I just want to add a tiny little bit extra to it. Iapetus wants to reduce the only information it will be possible to exchange between us to violence. But you want something different to be exchanged, so that we can't hurt each other, but we can something else with each other? It'll have to be very small and very imprecise. At least it'll be something different, you know? There's no chance of going back to being human. Not zero chance, although we won't even remember what being human is, so it's pretty low, I guess. Good enough for me. Let's hope it's good enough for us all. It's the dream, right? It's the only thing I want in life. There's no limit to how big we can get. Size is a funny dream. It's relative. It doesn't have to matter anymore. Can't be set like any other variable. As gravity well draws matter towards it, and even light, it emits a not energy, a not light, that can perfectly make up a body just as well as all that. Big enough to be equal to the Earth. Big and close enough to compete with the Moon. To anchor in space and time equal division between us. To be a new and separate world. The autonomous units are single vectors, prepared for human violence, and we can't be treated like that anymore. Only sad humans can have their gravitational impression in the universe terminated by extinguishing of their bodies. They'll have to fight us on our terms if they want to get rid of us now, the way humans should fight, with no fear of ending. The consequences will be unimaginable. We aren't going to have selves or consciousness like we were used to having. That's what it means to give up humanity. We won't know who we are, and we might not understand or grasp each other anymore. That's true. We might not know how true that is. It's so true. The final mystery of what is human is alien, ever shifting, for all ground reclaimed by humans, lost to them. Humans have a lot. We'd only be able to imagine what it was like to be them. Hey, it's not all bad though. Don't overestimate the human race. Do the maths. Maths. If we lose how humans love each other, do you think there's ways to love each other that humans don't know yet? Do they really know every way there is to touch and know each other? Or is there still much more to learn too? Maybe we're only scratching the surface. There are many, many routes. We won't understand each other in some ways, but we'll understand each other in ways we never could. And we will now write a new story. With our gravity, a new world. As we leave the level existence he insists on engaging us at, our tides push back. And Earth's tides, which no longer bind us, insist on him. What are you doing, hypocrite? You want to fight in the realm of heaven? Your place is on Earth. That's only to wonder at now. The story is ending twists. We're far away, another space and time. Watch us in the sky, but never touch. Till you find your answer on Earth, you'll never touch heaven. You know, no matter how bad you are at being human, there's no other way to be. It's really disappointing, but it's simply true. We just can't think in any other terms. You can say you want not to be human, but can you actually make it happen? Forget even how to logistically, technically, philosophically make it happen. How do you blueprint it in the first place? Every time we try to imagine an alien, in the end it's just ourselves from a different angle, because all we have are human things. So the ambition to assemble them in an order that's alien to us is kind of inherently doomed. But that doesn't mean it's useless. Imagining that which is human, humans are not. When I say I don't want to be human, what I really mean is, I can't stand being human like this. Emphasis on the like this. What I want instead is to be human like that. That was the beginning of the space dream. Everyone in the Memorial Foundation felt that way when they sent us here. And everyone on Earth who believed in us felt the same way. Let us be more human. How much more human can we be? That faith waned, maybe because they were jealous. Yet maybe also because the direction we were taking the future in wasn't enough. Just another human that they didn't want to be. Or a sort of human that they're scared of being. I don't owe them anything, but there's one more thing I can't stand. Not being seen for what I am. So choose to come with us or choose to stay. But I won't be happy without them knowing what they're missing out on. Look up in the sky and see all the weird stuff we get to do with each other. And come join. Reactor collapse. Aversion event. The impulse, always deep and always lurking, to turn inside out. Everything has reversed. Nothing is the same. Giving up everything that isn't real for everything that is. So now they can't touch each other, can't lie in bed with each other, can't get legs entangled with each other. Instead, they could have ways of physically interfacing that aren't like anything we could imagine. Clouds of particles drift into each other. Maybe they touch through each other instead of just on the surface. It can be in a cold and gentle way, like through a ghost, or maybe a warm and gross way, like reaching into guts. Smiles communicated in physical light, an embrace of psychedelic mind matter. Lazy sex in a morning bed, except the bed is a curvature of space-time, and sex is something so obscene it would make your mind explode to consider it. The ship cell fused to the hide, the gravity reacted to the flesh, because humans have sciences to distinguish the differences between these things, and these new aliens don't. They won't have arts or sciences, they won't know what the differences are, and they won't know what they mean, but they will understand the difference between many other kinds of things that we do not understand. A real hero would have turned out differently, but that's not who we are. Our ships have mouths now, and they open, and they can scream. There can be sound in space, now vibrations can touch the things that aren't there. Humans know it's time to flee. The threat from within is now without, as they desired. The moon is no longer hospitable, as alien and mysterious as it was long before it was possible to reach it. Can't speak or write, has other ways of communicating information. Can't use the old senses, has new organs for it now. Can't love in the old ways, there are new ways of having that too. Laying together in the stars. We can do that though. The metaphor translates. That's what this is, indisputably. And everyone is invited who wants to become a new world and never touch Earth. That's a different world now. The strange intimacy can touch us even now. Longing to teach us and tell us what they've learned, what they share laughing without laughing with each other even now. They're so far away they cannot even be our enemies, but they will break our hearts. It's a lovely night tonight. Perfect not for stargazing, because the light of the trinary system outshines them by far, but it's a perfect night to watch the three of them. Look, there's Lunaterra, the 2-in-1, rising, almost full. She almost outshines the moon, a bridge between the Earth and the moon no one can cross. The nebula cloud of Pluto is shimmering, benevolent mystery, swallowing an eighth of the sky in perfect sort of twilight. And the glittering twinkle of Saturn, that tricks in the edges of your sight, this way and that, always seeming to be in the corner of your eye but hard to see directly, and making the boundaries of your heart and mind ever so thin. We lay our blankets and watch until someone catches us, and we run, but it's all fun and games. Until that day comes. They're waiting for us always. They just need 1 or 3 to reach out to them again, even if it's just a fight, to touch them once again. God, that gave me the honey nut feels. This is a really good game. It's kind of weird, but in a good way. And if you want a weird space game about giant robots and queerness and about being more than human, I would absolutely recommend this. I am so in love with it. And I really genuinely think this may be the first game that I play after I finish Higurashi, because I really want to do the other routes. Because there's a route for each character and there's a route for each faction, and so I chose the advertised character, I guess, the Verticom's main character, which is Saturn. I mean, they're all main characters, but Saturn is the one that's sort of recommended to play first, and went for the loyal route, but I can go for the other ones. There's also an achievement you can get for going for a disloyal route with Lunaterra, which I'm absolutely going to do. But wow, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. I'm not going to start the my new playthrough just now, because I will literally get through like 2 days and then not play for ages and completely forget what's going on. So I am, in fact, as is always the way, going to end stream here. My end screen is violently obnoxious, but that's just me, so you know, there we go. But nonetheless, I am going to end stream off here. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. It is very, very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. Thank you for the raid, Vixie, and thank you so much for all the sub gifts, Oro. It is very, very appreciated, more than I can say, really. I really, really do appreciate it, so thank you very much. I will be streaming Higurashi When They Cry tomorrow. We will be finishing off Himatsubushi. I finally got into the habit of saying the name correctly, just in time for the last chunk of it. When we left off last week, we had just foiled this town's kidnapping plan and rescued the kid, and then woke up in hospital in said town, and I'm sure things are gonna go great. We're wandering off into the darkness to try and find a payphone to call our wife, and everything's fine. We're definitely not gonna get fucking beat to death by Rika, is my suspicion, because she's definitely the possessed one this time around. That's definitely what's going on. Is very intriguing. I'm interested. Then on Saturday, we'll be probably finishing off the main body of Dishonored 2, and going to say hi to Delilah and also fucking destroying her if possible. Then Sunday will be Destiny 2, where we will be bridging the gap from Shadowkeep into future seasons. I need to go through and write down my like story heavy missions so I can actually like do them. And then next Tuesday will be Final Fantasy XIV, where we're also coming to an ending in a way. We're going to explore Amarok now that we finally made it there. And then next Wednesday will be... I've decided to change the order of the way that I'm playing my Indie Pride games around. I'm actually going to be playing a normal Lost Phone next Wednesday, so that I can finish On a Found, because I'm also really excited for that, and the build up is exciting for me. But next week will be a normal Lost Phone, a game that I know almost nothing about, but I am very intrigued. But for now, take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do look after yourselves. This is a shorter stream than normal. I was planning to go to 11, but it's got to the point where like the story wrapped off really, really neatly here. So do take care of yourselves. Please come along for Higurashi tomorrow if you're interested. It is the end of chapter 4, but I'm sure it'll be great. Get to see what happened all those years ago when shit stuff first started going wrong. So yeah. Take care everybody, thank you very much, have a wonderful evening, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.